Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Dr. Kepri Anubis Rasul Bey, Counsel General, God Allah, Georgia Territory. Also National Assistant Grand Chairman of Moorish America, giving rise and praise to our Father, God Allah, honors to our Holy Prophet, Noble Ali, honors to everything that is Moorish, our Grand National Flag, emblem and seal, Divine Constitution of Moorish America, Islam. I want to welcome all executive rulers to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class, sponsored by our Moorish American government. Today's platform will be provided by the God Allah Georgia Territory. Our host instructor is our very own National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shadu Muhajjid Sepshuel. Islam, Islam, Islam. We'll be starting shortly. Islam, Dr. MATHENO'S Bey. Another grand rotation back to the sun. Now rise and be great. How you be, Grandman?
Islam,
Islam.
God, man. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh man, we just as Moorish as ever. You know, can't complain. No complaints over here. Indeed.
Thank God Allah. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
See, who we got here? Just you and me?
Oh, we got Dr. Sepshu. She just coming in. Let me admit her now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so just you me what you want to,
Let's see
brother?
it. Grand Rising, Dr. Sepshu, Tutankhamun Bay. How you be, Goddess and Queen? Once you're on me, what you say, Grandman?
Yeah. If you need me for anything, just let me know.
Oh, yeah, all right. Islam. You know, it's right there for you.
Oh, gratitude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not a problem. How that weather in Texas, my man?
Oh, it's mellow.
Yeah,
No problems. Thanks.
Yeah. I was up in I come through that other day, Grapevine, Texas.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I've been up there.
Yeah, come up, picked up in Vegas and dropped off there in Grapevine, Texas.
Well, what you didn't go to the you didn't drop it off at the they got a big, well, they got some everything up there, right?
Yeah, in Texas I dropped it off. It was basically like, you know your pilot travel
Golf
centers.
course, because they got a big.
Pilot Travel Center. So they have the maintenance trucks that they have. So I picked up one of their maintenance trucks for them out of Las Vegas and dropped it off in Grapevine, Texas. So yeah, it was cool. It's cool. Nah, man, not me. Nah, I know it's gonna all work out in my life, you know.
I heard that.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. We got Dr. Sepsu. Dr. Sepsu to the Common Bay, Islam Goddess of Queen. How you be, Grand Secretary of State?
Just great, National Assistant Grand Chairman and Dr. Edwards Bay, Consul General. Yourselves?
Islam Goddess, glad to see you.
Yeah, we just as Morris as ever. Islam. No complaints.
Well, let me know if there's anything.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, by the way, okay, before I just want to just interject. Dr. Sepsu, you know, when I was doing my homework, working on that homework yesterday, and I looked up, man, it was like 6:30. I mean, yeah.
6:30 a.m.
No, it was 6:30. You know, during the class. Well, see, I'm an hour behind. So it was a half hour into the class, but I'm saying, wait a minute. Okay, then I went to that the app we got for the phone, and I saw that the sister was already on the job.
Oh yeah, alhamdulillah. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Praise Allah.
I said, yeah, because I like kind of like slept it almost. But, praise Allah. I'm pretty sure I would have heard something. Anyway.
Right.
Gratitude.
It took me literally all week. You know, it took me a 24-hour period just to do number one. Okay.
I know. Right? Yeah, it does. I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah. I just kind of really figure out what he was saying. I mean, I figured out this space with them and stuff, but yeah, it was kind of a lot, you know.
I had to get it straight in my head. You know, if I can't conceptualize it, you know, I got to keep reviewing it until I get the revelation from it. Okay, even though I got the instructions, it still has to be a quiet time when I can, you know, try to. Okay, now what is this saying?
Exactly.
And then when it dawned on me, all of the letters you got to come up with a hieroglyph. Oh, that's a lot. It sounds quick, but no.
You know, because you got to convert. You know. Yeah, then you got to go into that Harold Apollo that.
Yes. And that was just part one. Oh, okay, great.
Oh no, I'm just speaking to Dr. Bati Bey. That's all, family.
Islam. Hey, this is a grand measure. It's a grand measure, especially when you get to the using the periodic table to break down.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Yes.
Oh yeah. I have a I think. Anyway, we'll discuss it once we get into it.
Yeah, because that's kind of like when it say fizzle.
Yeah, exactly.
Islam, that's the Sister Grand Sheik, Grand Rising to you, Grand Man.
Islamism. Y'all in here exchanging notes in my class.
Yeah.
Islam, we love you,
we
boy.
comparing battle scars, okay?
How y'all doing?
Islam. How you doing?
Islam, all is well, Moors. I know this is gonna be a grand draw, and I can't help but wait to be taught by my Moorish kin. Praise.
Now we got Dr. Sishir Bey. Islam, Dr. Sishir Bey, Grand Rising, Grand Man.
Oh yeah, here.
This mic ain't keyed in there. Islam, Dr. Sishir Bey, Grand Rising, Grand Man. Islam family, we got one more minute. Like say, Dr. MATHENO'S Bey, you can actually bring forth the commission at that Moorish American prayer, and then I'll follow up with the Divine Constitution and reading of the chapter of the week, Islam. Let's see, did he fall off? There we go. Dr. Sishir Bey, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I sure can.
All right, Islam. All right. Praise Allah.
Did you say something before that though? Because
I just, Islam more, I just saying, grand rising to you. You and the tribe.
Allah, praise Allah. Start. We gonna mute out.
Islam. All right, then. Well, Islam family. We want to welcome everyone to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class sponsored by Moorish American Government. Our host instructor will be our very own Dr. Our National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shadu Amenti Al-Muhajjab Shuel. Today we'll be opening up with Dr. MATHENO'S Bey with the reciting of our commission, Adept Moorish American Prayer. Islam. The floor is yours, grand man.
Gratitude. Praise Allah. Prophet, highest honor to the Prophet. And on to everything that's Moorish. Rising. Metian Adept Prayer. Ya Allah abnu heru meku netabu. Ya Allah abhedu. Ya Allah hotep. Pardon yourself, Moors. I'm looking at this and I say this every morning 2 or 3 times. Okay, beginning again. Ya Allah abnu heru meku netabu. Ya Allah abhedu. Ya Allah mara. Ya Allah hotep. Ya Allah ma'at mirkuti. Ya Allah awajit dejuti. Ya Allah patem sutek patem haru. Ya Allah bamaduti. Allah hezis ray up to Ali. Amen. Alias. Alias. In transliteration. O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my God. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet. O Allah, you are Ali. Amen. Holy Issa. Holy Issa. Holy Issa. Islam wars.
Islam. We want to give gratitude and honors to our very own Council General of Texas Territory, Dr. MATHENO'S Bey, for reciting the commission at Adept Moorish American Prayer. And at this time, I am Dr. Toria Nur Rasul Simpson Bey, becoming before with our divine constitution of Moorish America, Islam. Praise Allah and honors to our holy prophet, Nabi Ali. Salvation, our God unity. The divine constitution of Moorish America. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs, if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The Bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah's love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws. And all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folk, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is the new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part in the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Prophet Noble Jew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, founder and father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. And now that this meeting has been opened according to Act 2, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we say Islam, Islam, Islamism. Our prophet brought to us a good name, Islam. And at this time, Moorish can now be bringing forth the reading of chapter of the week, chapter 26. The host was an answer, holy answer to Lamas, Islam. Get these ones in, emit. Anyone waiting? Let's see. All right. Now, after they had dined, the guests and Yehoshua all were in a spacious hall in Mary's home. And Lama said, pray, tell us, Yehoshua, is this the dawn of peace? Have we come forth unto the time when men will war no more? Are you indeed the Prince of Peace that holy men have said would come? And Yehoshua said, peace reigns today. It is the peace of death. A stagnant pool abides in peace. When waters cease to move, they soon are laden with the seeds of death. Corruption dwells in every drop. The living waters always leap and skip about like lambs in spring. The nations are corrupt. They sleep within the arms of death, and they must be aroused before it is too late. In life, we find antagonists at work. Allah sent me here to stir up, subhanAllah, Allah sent me here to stir into its depths the waters of the sea of life. Peace follows strife. I come to slay this piece of earth. The Prince of Peace must first be Prince of Strife. This leaven of truth, which I have brought to men, will stir the demons up, and nations, cities, families will be at war within themselves. The five that have been dwelling in a home in peace will be divided now, and two shall war against three. The son will stand against his sire. The mother and daughter will contend. Yea, strife will reign in every home. The self and greed and doubt will rage into a fever heat. And then, because of me, the earth will be baptized in human blood. But right is king. And when the smoke is cleared away, the nations will learn war no more. The Prince of Peace will come to reign. Behold, the signs of what I say are in the sky, but men can see them not. When men behold a cloud rise in the west, they say a shower of rain will come, and so it does. And when the wind blows from the south, they say the weather will be hot, and it is so. Lo, men can read the signs of earth and sky, but they cannot discern the signs of the holy breath, but you shall know. The storms of wrath come on. The carnal man will seek a cause to hail you into court and cast you into prison cells. And when these times shall come, let wisdom guide. Do not resent. Resentment makes more strong the wrath of evil men. There is a little sense of justice and of mercy in the vilest man of earth. By taking heed to what you do and say and trusting in the guidance of the holy breath, you may inspire this sense to grow. You thus may make the wrath of men to praise Allah. And Yehoshua went his way and came unto Bethsaida and taught. Islam, 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 Islam. Well, at this time, Morris King, we're going to go ahead and get it started. So I open up the floor to the host, our very own National Sister Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shadu Al-Minty Al-Muhajjid Sebshuel. Islam, Islam. The floor is open for you.
Islam, Islamism. Can you hear me, Morris Ken?
Islam, loud and clear.
Gratitude. Want to rise upon the seven and give all praises to the great God, Allah, our Father God, Allah, and honors to his holy prophet. Honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere. And therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything. And I do mean everything that our Holy Prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome our Moorish kin to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate session, brought to you by the Moorish American government. And I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Al-Mohadi Shabazz El. My ancient Kemetian high name being the same as Dr. Shedawa Minti El-Muhajid Shepsuel. And you know, Moorish kin, we most definitely have a grand drawing brought on the manifest today. We want to give honors to all of those who are in participation and those who have stayed the course, you know, because the race is not to the swift, merely to the swift, are those who have been called swift angel, but to those swift angels who endure till the end. You know, so we give honors to you, Moorish kin, for all of your hard work and due diligence and everything it is that you have done, you know, to, as they would say, even in the Piscean records, you know, study, and basically through your work, show yourself, you know, approval, you know, and you definitely are at a work, and you would not be ashamed, you know, by the time we finish with this special demonstration. And this is really infinite, you know, so we talking about finish with this demonstration today because we're going to move on to another measure. But without further ado and delay, giving honors to all of our Moorish kin, what I want to do, you know, is just share my screen so my family can see. Those who may have not been here, they can see what we're doing here. This is the assignment that was given to our Moorish kin. And again, we want to give honors to all of those who participated. You know, we're not here to emphasize on what's considered a right or a wrong answer. You know, we are here to see our Moorish kin bring forth the gifts of understanding the treasures of Allah. And anything that may be a slight error along the way, we will correct those things as we go. But that's not a measure of saying the measure is wrong. You know, we just tweaking everything in the universe, universal mode, so to speak. So this was our assignment. You know, as you see, I did have a copy of Mustafa Gadala's work here, you know, that ones could draw from to pull out, you know, his abjad in creating that particular drawing of the alphabet, so to speak. And I said, use Mustafa Gadala's book, The Egyptian Alphabetical Creation Cycle, to create your own hieroglyphic script from Apollos, right? Hieroglyphs in the PDF attached herein, corresponding to the 28 letters of the ABGD chart, as found in Mustafa Gadala's book. Then choose 7 Arabic words of your choice, and you're gonna see why I said this once we get into the measure. To write those words in the hieroglyphic font you created. Then it states, let me blow this up to a little bit. This is a separate task from the instructions given above. Use Mustafa Gadala's book, The Egyptian Alphabetical Creation Cycle, to compare gematria number values to the 22 letters of the Proto-Canaanite / Proto-Moabite scripts as seen in the PDF we went over together in our ear session attached to this email, which is here as well. Then we stated choose 7 words of your choice from the ancient Hebrew lexicon and use the gematria number values to convert each letter of your 7 chosen words to numbers, right? Use the gematria number value, and this is the third function. Use the gematria number value of each letter you have converted to a number and find the atomic mass not to be confused with the atomic number of the elements found in the periodic table of elements. And then see example on the last page in the PDF attached to this email. And last but not least, number 4, study each element you find after your letter to number conversion and give a presentation on the discovery of your research into the elements you find in your word conversion. Demonstrate the importance of the elements as to how they work in creation. Islam. So we just want to give honors to you, Morris Ken, and say gratitude. And I can't wait to be taught. Man, this is going to be a grand draw. And see, this is how what we call reciprocal help and mutual obligation. So our Morris Ken finna give us some reciprocal help right now. So gratitude, Morris. You may proceed. I'm a Badu. Goodness gracious. Uh-oh. Islam. So who would like to come forth first with their homework? Oh,
I
I was going to say, man, I heard everybody hype it earlier. Yes, sir. Islam. Sister Curta Bay. All right now, goddess and queen. All right.
Islam, 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 family. First, let me rise and give praises to the great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Nabi Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to you, National Assistant Grand Sheik, for this wonderful class and all your patience and all that you're doing for us. I really am enjoying this. I had to miss last weekend. I hate I had to miss, but I wasn't here. But as you said, you sent out the instructions, and I did the best that I could with what I understood. I thought you were saying, and it was a lot, and it was intense. But I just wanted you to know that I did put forth the effort, and I'm gonna present what I tried to put together now, and I wasn't able to finish a lot of it because it was I had to go over it to try to get an understanding, and instead of just spending too much time on one thing, I picked out the things that came easy to me. And so in the first one, you said use Mustafa for basically for us to create our own. I'm going to share my screen, family. Let's see. Basically, you wanted us to pick out our own abjad, make our own abjad. And I didn't know 7 Arabic words to pick out. I didn't know 7 Arabic words to pick out, but I did pick out some the abjads that I picked out. The first one I picked out was the where is it at? Can y'all see my screen, family? Islam?
Islam, we can see your screen, goddess and queen.
Okay, gratitude.
Islam.
Sunday morning. I'm still getting used to this computer to y'all. Islam. Right there. Okay. These are the all right. Okay, we'll talk about this one first. I chose the scarab beetle, and I chose that as my my first alphabet, I chose the scarab beetle to represent my leaf, my A. And the numerical value for it would be the 1. And the reason I chose the scarab beetle, because to me, you say pick out, you say pick out whichever what I wanted to use. So the A to me represents like the beginning. And then when I did the study, when I went to the hieroglyphs, when I was looking through there to find what I wanted to have for my A, I chose the scarab beetle because they were saying when they talked about him, they talked about how basically they say he was to denote an only begotten generation, a father, the world. And when it talked about the world, I thought about, in the beginning, the great God Allah created the heavens and the earth. I just thought, all about him creating everything from the beginning. I thought about generation, and then it talks about how he, when he get ready, it says for the propagation of it is unique after this manner. It talks about, saying when the male is desirous of procreating. In other words, Allah is the creator of all things. And he said he takes dung of an ox and shapes it into a spherical form like the world. All right, there again, in my mind, I'm thinking this is the beginning for me, the way I see it. So that's why I'm picking this as my first alphabet leaf. And then it talks about how I'm not going to try to go through all of it, what they said, but it talked about how it takes the dung and then it rolls it up with its hinder parts. It rolls it from like the east to the west, and then looking to make it into a round ball. And then it talked about how then it digs a hole and deposit it into the earth. And there again, I thought about in our chapter 1, how the great God Allah, we was the seed of him, and he sold us into the soil of soul. So all of the scarab, they call him the what was that name? They call it the Escarabius, and basically it means the scarab beetle. And also in the Chinese symbol, it symbolizes creation also, and it also symbolizes resurrection, new life. And so this is the reason why I chose the scarab beetle as one of my my alphabets, one of my letters. And like I say, I wasn't able, because I just did a few just to make sure that I was on the right track. And if I wouldn't, then I wouldn't be that went too far, and I was doing it wrong. And then also my second,
Sister Curta Bay, excuse me, pardon self. Can you expand that and blow it up for us? Like make it bigger?
Okay.
I know it usually have a thing you can click on to make it wider. So that everybody can see the actual how big it is. You may be able to grab it if are you on your phone doing this?
No, I'm on my computer.
Okay.
And I'm on the big one. Hold on a minute. I got my helper here.
Okay, yeah, you should be able to.
He can show me how to make. You want to make this picture big, the scarab
No,
beetle.
I just want your whole screen so that it
be
covers.
big. Oh, okay. Oh, do I go right here?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna tell y'all about this shit. I ain't gonna get to that one yet. I'm gonna finish doing this. In the next alphabet I picked out, I was trying to go with the something that symbolic of the eye. Now in Mustafa, his 70, the what represents the eye in Mustafa's abjad is the A, Ein, and it's got the numerical value of 70. But in that Hebrew, the Hebrew alphabet, Egyptian alphabet, Dr. Shahi, that you gave us on that chart we had the couple of weeks ago, it had the O, but nevertheless, it still was Ein. It represents the eye. And so I chose these lions. I chose them because it talks about, let me see, it talks about the lions. Let me read that a little bit, because I wanted something to represent my eye. So it says when the lion is, hold on a minute, family, let me get all my notes here. Let me read that. Okay, it says the lion to denotes a watchful person, even a god. They portray the head of a lion, because the lion, when awake, closes his eyes, but when asleep, keeps them open, which is a sign of watching. Therefore, wherefore they symbolize the lion. And when it talked about the eyes being open, you can see, and then when he closed, he still said. So I thought about the eye of the great God Allah, and how he sees everything. He sees everything, and that's all I put for having the eye to represent my eye. And then when I was looking for something to represent water. And so let me scroll. Right here, this picture here, I use, that's the M. And the M stands for water. And and this picture over here, they stand for water. So as you can see, the little wavy things, we know that symbolizes the water. And I hope I'm explaining this right, but I'm doing the best I can, family. So this symbolizes water, and this symbolizes water. And I found that to be this picture right here, family. That signifies the rising of the Nile. And then when they talked about that, they said that they sometimes portrayed a lion, and sometimes 3 large water pots, and other times heaven and earth gushing forth with water. And they depict a lion because when the sun is in Leo, it augments the rising of the Nile. See, keep talking about water. So that's why I use the 2 of these symbols. I was going, as I'm doing my abjad, I would put 2 of them together to represent that M, to mean to represent our water that it stands for. And it says, because when the sun is in Leo, it augments the rising of the Nile, so that oftentimes while the sun remains in that sign of the zodiac, half of the new water is supplied. And then it talks about how they let me see how to say, and hence it is that those who accidentally preside over the sacred works have made the spouts and passage of the sacred fountain in the form of the lion. So basically this one is talking about the water. And then also it says, even to this day, in prayer for an abundant inundation, and they depict 3 water pots of heaven and earth, gushing forth with water. So that's why I chose that one. That's why I chose that one to be to water. And also this one over here, it talks about hold on, family. That one talks about this one I found very interesting. And as you can see, I'm going to show you this. This one, it talks about the equinox and the how did I say pronounce that? The cynosyphilis. This is a creature with it's a folklore though, but it's a creature with the head of a dog or a jackal. Also, it was a fable race of dog-headed men. And then they had baboon when I looked up that word. And when it talked about baboon, I thought about it would be the Europeans didn't understand. I thought about when Tahuti sometimes represented the baboon also, because he would change forms. And I remember when Hathor, Allah had sent Hathor to save the peoples on earth. It's a metaphor. And basically she come down, instead of her saving the people, she started eating them up and got a taste. And she started eating them up and got a taste of the blood. And she was just eating everybody and about to destroy all of Ra's creation. So Tahuti had to come down and talk to her. And so he turned himself into a baboon. And so that's why I say, I thought about when I saw this creature, this headed creature, I say, they talk about that's a fable, but really that's about Tahuti, but they don't know, they don't understand our teaching. So, but anyway, getting back to this over here, that represents the water. Also, it says it talks about that headed being. He be sitting for at the 2 equinox of the year. It makes water 12 times in the day, once in each hour, and it does the same also during the 2 nights. And then it says, wherefore, not without reason, do the Egyptian sculpture a sitting cynosyphilis on the water lot, and they cause the water to run from member, because as they said, the animal thus indicates the 12 hour of the equinox. And then it says, unless the contrivance by which water is discharged into well, it's talking about it basically tells you about how the water started coming out and how they had to regulate it for it not to be too wide, too narrow, and everything like that. So that's why I chose that one to talk about, to represent the M. And the numerical value was 40, and that means mem. And this one over here, the numerical value is 40, and I say that would be number 2. I would have that as number 2. All right, and stop. And I went to your next assignment that I went to. I want to get out of this, family. Okay. Let me see. Let me get out of this. And right here. Okay. And then I went to my geometric. Wait a minute. this is my, where you said, I went to number 2, because number 1, you say use Mustafa Guatemala book, Egyptian creation, compare the gematria number value to the 22 letters of the Proto-Canaanite Moabite script as seen in the PDF we went over together in the section. And I'm thinking that was where, when I brought forth my last presentation in the last class, I was just supposed to, I had pretty much everything right, except for you wanted me to put the numbers beside the pictorial instead of, I had my numbers beside the alphabet. So I didn't try to put that up here, family, because like I said, I'm still learning with this computer here. And then you said, choose 7 words of your choice from the Hebrew Lexicon and use the gematria number value to convert each letter of your 7 chosen words to numbers. All right. Can y'all see that, family, Dr. Shahid, or do I need to make that bigger? Islam?
I see what you have up there now. Is that what you intending to show?
Yeah, these are my 7 words that I picked out from the lexicon, and I picked out infant, and I call myself. You said break it down. Now this is what I thought you meant. I took each alphabet, like the I. I said the I, the geometric value is 10, and the compound group for that, it would be neon gas, and then the atomic mass. You had to Google that periodic table, and when I pull that table up, and you had to look for the number, and so to get your atomic mass, and so the atomic mass, it said would be 20. And then I did the N. The N in infant, the geometric number is 50. And then the chemical compound for the N would be 10. SN would be the 10. That's the chemical abbreviation for 10. And then the atomic mass for that would be 118. Now, when I got to the F, and the F in infant, when I broke it down, that's to have the geometric value of 80. And in Mustafa book, he got the F, but sometimes Mustafa, he didn't have the same alphabet as that biblical, as that Hebrew to the English alphabet, but it was in the same position, but he did have the F in the book. And so the value of that, the geometry, the number I say was that's 80. And then the compound, the chemical compound for that, it would be mercury. And then it had a geometrical value of 200, but on the chart, I couldn't find anything that go up to 200, because I think the only elements so far, it only go as far as to 118, I believe I remember them saying. And then the A, we know the A is always 1, the number value 1, and the A stand for the hydrogen, and the atomic mass for that would be 1. And then the N in infant, the geometric number I said is 50. And then that's also, because you had N up here, that's also going to be 10. It's going to be 118. The atomic mass would be 118. And last but not least, the T, that was the number, geometric number is 9. And the chemical compound is fluorine. And the atomic mass for that is the 18. Now, and then you said, give a presentation. I didn't have the time to write it out like what you had showed us, how you did yours. I didn't have time to look up the neon gas. I know the neon gas is lighter than helium, and it surrounds the earth, and it's real light. And they give the example like if you would like stick a pin in a balloon, if we didn't have the neon gases, it's like the earth would collapse within on itself. That's what they said. And we know that tin, we have all kind of uses for tin that we use. And like I say, I didn't have time to look up all, to just give a breakdown like you did. I'm still working on this one. And I did 7, I picked out the 7 words from the lexicon. And you can see, family, I'm not going to try to go through all of this because it's a lot. And I want to see if I'm on the right track. Did I get half of it right? Where I'm at. But I did pick out 7 words. You got 6 here, and I got the other one. I'm not going to pull that one up. But I did pick out my 7 words from the lexicon, and I broke them down just like these, what I did right here. So at this time, family, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Shaheed. So now you can tell me how much because I missed, and I wanted to call you and talk to you, and I got distracted too because I saw you out there debating with that guy on Friday. So I was trying to listen to you and do my homework. You distracted me, God, man. Because it was so good. I was like, oh man, I'm missing. But anyway, gratitude, God, man. I really appreciate you, God, man. But I was trying to listen to you Friday. I was putting that there. I was sharing it and everything. Should have been working on this. But either way, I got time. I'll get it done. I just wanted you to know this is what I did because I did miss last weekend. I wasn't here. And but this is my understanding. So now you can help me. It's love, God, man. Peace and love.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Dr. Shaheed, if you're talking.
Okay, I had to stop sharing and unmute. Okay, Islam. So gratitude, beloved goddess and queen. Yeah, what I was saying is that I see you was, you went into a metaphysical interpretation of the symbols, and that was good and well, no problem with that, and we'll see, with our Moorish kin as they come forth, the drawing on creating your own hieroglyphs, the script from the 28, which you didn't have that time. So we give honors to you just for trying, the effort, like our Moorish kin say, because some of our people don't even try. So we give honors to you, sister, for the measure you brought forth in that area. Grand metaphysical interpretation, but yet we wanted to see your exact alphabet just created from any other symbols. Out of the 28, you could have put any one you chose next to that abjad order, and that'll be a grand draw. And it's the reason that we had our Moorish kin to do this, which we'll get into in a little bit. But then the periodic table, you had the right idea, but we would have rather seen those original words, in the actual, the Hebrew, lexicon. As far as those alphabets, you didn't have to draw them, but the word that was used in that particular measure. So it's, you still had the right idea on the giving the number values though to the letters, so and we see what you brought out of it. So we can see you also compared it properly to the atomic mass. But like you say, you didn't have the time to where you wanted to go into the breakdown of this special demonstration. In fact, what I would do is give you an example. I thought I had it right here. Hold up real quick. Let me pull this up. Let me see. Did I send it down here in the bottom? In that other portion? No. Give me 1 second, Goddess. 1 second here. I'm trying to pull this document up, and I'm gonna share it with you to give you an example so that you can see exactly where I was coming from. In fact, I don't even have to go into that document. I can actually go to my page.
Yeah,
Because I actually posted it on Facebook. I'm finna share the screen in a second. I'm just pulling it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see here. Okay, here it is right here. This is the example that I demonstrate. Okay, let me pull this up now here and share the screen. And now I can give you a better insight right here. And we give honors to you, like I said, Goddess and Queen, for what you did, because you had the right idea, most definitely. Only thing, you didn't go into the explanation of each measure, like you say, you didn't have time. But right here, I placed the benefits of hydrogen, which is really hydrogen water. It was supposed to be. I didn't mean to put that there. Boron and phosphorus. Okay. And I got this from the geometric value of this word, Allah, which is A-H-L-A and H. And then I got for the A to 1, for the H to 5, the L 30, and the H5, of course, because it's just a repeat. So when I combined all of my atomic mass here, you will see hydrogen, and that's dealing with the 1. Then you see boron, and I put 2 because it's 2 H's. You see?
Oh, okay.
So then I put phosphorus, which is 1, which is the letter L, so it's 1 of those. I didn't add those up together, I try to get into the more complex measures. I just used it to identify, what would manifest out of this particular word. And so once I was able to do this, now, because this is actually a name for God, in the Hebrew, right? Allah. So I've seen that, well, what do these particular elements represent? What's their atomic mass? And now that we had a number and we know what they are, let's go into the function. Now I could have went into how they combine together, what's their function as they bond with each other, but I chose to keep it simple and just go into the definition of each one of them. And we can see that hydrogen water, we find in its formula, is good for the kidneys. The hydrogen rich water alleviates and induced kidney injury by suppressing oxidative stress, inflammation, and fibrosis. So that's, what we find in just this particular one. What does phosphorus do to the human body? And we find it's needed for growth, maintenance, repair of all tissues and cells, and for the production of the genetic building blocks, DNA and RNA. Phosphorus is also needed to help balance and use other vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, iodine, magnesium, and zinc. So we see the function of this special measure. If you notice, all of these definitions are dealing with something that aids and assists the body. Now I could have chose a word and it actually would go into probably the workings and what take place in creation in the universe. Okay. You know what I mean? But for some reason, all of these had to do with that which helps the body. We can see that this actually deals with, the healing of the kidneys. This is dealing with, the absorption of minerals and, building up, everything that is needed in relation to the DNA and RNA, which we all need that. And boron is a very powerful one, that we have, because it has been proven to be an important trace mineral because it is one that is essential for growth and maintenance of the bone, greatly improving the wound healing, beneficially impacting the body's use of estrogen, testosterone, and vitamin D, boosts magnesium absorption, reduces levels of inflammatory biomarkers such as HSCRP and TNF-A, and raises levels of antioxidant enzymes such as SOD and catalase, it says, and also glutathione and as they call it, peroxidase. It says in 7, it protects against pesticide-induced oxidative stress and heavy metal toxicity, improves brain electrical activity, cognitive performance, and short-term memory in elders, influences formation and activity of key biomolecules such as SAM and E and NAD. Plus 10, it says, has demonstrated the preventative and therapeutic effects in a number of cancers, such as prostate, cervical, and lung cancers, and multiple, it says, in non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And 11 may help, it says, the ameliorate of the adverse effects of traditional chemotherapeutic agents. So this demonstration boron is basically showing not only is it something that boosts, certain measures help the body heal when it comes to wounds, raise your levels of antioxidant, which is good to purify the blood and, and protect one against, pesticide-induced oxidative stress, which actually connect up here, what I would say, to the water itself as well. They would work good together. Brain electrical activity. In other words, you can have some clarity that will come out of that. It also delays, we would say, the short-term memory, demonstration, what some people like to say, go into a state of Alzheimer's or something like that. It will, bring about a delay in that.
Right.
And, the key also preventative in relation to dealing with cancers, and also it can basically aid, I guess it would say more toward the radiation aspects, and the effects of it on the body. This measure can basically help, when it comes to fighting against certain measures in that particular area. So it's a grand drawing that all of that would come up out of just doing research on this particular word. Right. Because not only have we learned something, but we can also see what's necessary to sustain our existence. So I would encourage our Moorish kin, if you can, to get you some of these things, to aid and assist in, building the body, sustaining the body to the extent that where you're long enough to do everything that you call to do, teach, so to speak. Right. Uplift your people, because that's the only reason a Moorish American Muslim would want to have a length of life, to be able to see that nation grow, to be able to teach the young and not yet born and watch them come forth in fruition. Mashallah, be the will of the great God of Allah. And so I just wanted to add that. And we got all of that just out of going into this particular word here. And so that's what I meant by presentation, explanation of the special demonstration. Islam, but we give honors to you, goddess and queen, because you did, like I say, properly compare your words that you had in the English, to the measure. I know it would be more difficult, though, to deal with English words, trying to compare them to, that abjad chart, because it's certain things that are not really, we'll say, aligned, so to speak, when it comes to the actual words themselves. But I do know you got those words from the dictionary, but, we wanted to see your breakdown on the actual word. But still, we see you had an idea of what was said. So nevertheless, you did a great job, goddess and queen, within the view of the time.
Gratitude.
Islamism without the schism.
Islam.
Gratitude. All right. Let me do this here. I need to stop sharing my little screen here. All right, we see our beloved brother Marvin Edwards Bay on the manifest. Uh-oh.
Islam.
Islam, grand man, how you be?
It's all great, man. Yeah, I'm just more as ever. Great. I'm glad God
Dr. Shahid, I think that was Brother Leroy Lowry Bay trying to get in, Brother Evans Bay. I think what Brother Leroy Lowry Bay was trying to get in.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question right quick before brother gives a measure. All right. Can you hear me?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, praise the Lord, honor to the prophet, and honor to this class, honor to you, now, Sister Grand Sheik. But I just wanted to ask, you took the Arabic word, you got that word afla, and you said you got it from the lexicon, and then you
Not Arabic part itself, brother. That's the Hebrew word. Yes, sir.
for the Hebrew. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Gratitude. And you went to the abjad and got the numerical value of those alphabets. And then you compare them to a periodical table of elements.
Yeah, the atomic mass. Each letter we compare to the periodical table of elements. That's right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gratitude.
It's
Just
long.
trying to follow along.
Oh yeah, no problem. It's long. Peace.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. All right. Brother Marvin Edwards Bay.
Yes, sir. I'm still here. Gratitude. I have given all praise to the great God Allah. Giving highest honors to the prophet, our prophet. Medu Ali, Al-Hashimita Abdullah. Give honors to our theocratic government, our Morris American government. Give high honors to our X1. Give high honors to all of our officials. Give honors to this class, our years class, our Egyptian Adeptus Research Consulting class. Well, I give honors to you, Dr. Shady Wamentiamo, as except well our instructor, National Assistant Grand Chief at the same time. And gratitude for all that you do. I give honor to everything that's for us, our flag, our seal, our emblem, our divine constitution, or the Quran, our book of Ali, our 101, 102, exhuming of a nation, all of our divine revelations. Very powerful class, and give honor to Dr. Diane Carter Bay for her presentation. And like I was about to say, bless you first. But I'll bring mine on. Share the screen. Yeah. Okay, let me go to presentation. And I try to put everything on one page, look, and I didn't finish, okay, because like God said, you know, the time when I try to really figure out what was going on. But this is basically, I'll go up here. Okay, I'm gonna start right here. Using Mustafa Gadala's book, Egyptian and alphabetical letters of creation cycle to create my own hieroglyphic from Harapolo's hieroglyphs, the PDF attached herein, corresponding to the 28 letters, the abjad chart that's found in Mustafa Gadala's book. Okay, this is the Harapolo because I just threw that up. It says, okay, but this is mine. Oh yeah. Let me move this away. No. But anyway, okay, this is my script here. Okay, trying to move this thing here so I can see my exit charts. or something. But okay, this is my, these are, is this thing, can you see what I'm seeing? Is that,
Yeah, I can see what you share.
no, no, I'm saying, but is that, is the actual, okay, I just, okay, there it is, okay. All right, here we go. Okay, yeah, these are the letters and everything, the hieroglyphs that I picked out of. I did a whole 28 because I'm using, I thought I was using it another. Anyway, to create my hieroglyphs. And I compared them to Topicadala's book, you know what I mean? The Gematria. Here. So this is the Gematria numbers here that I got from my Topicadala. I mean, did this for, I just actually used your, representations of the hieroglyphs, because these are the other ones I just put that up top, just so that I won't go, if I go out too far, I can be pulled back in. So anyway, here we go. So these are the alphabets. This is my hieroglyphic chart that I chose. Okay, and to go on, then I chose 7 Arabic words of my choosing and wrote those words in the hieroglyphic font. This would be here. Okay, I chose these words. I went into our book, the Holy Quran dictionary, Sama, Sumu, Sasa, Ahad, Adama, Yaga, and okay, my pronunciation may not be on point, but I'm still striving to get that on the report. Okay, so this was the A. Okay, I have to go back and forth. This was the A here that I used, and I go back, and I mean, it kind of like you get my understanding. So I did correspond these my hieroglyphs with the letters that's presented here. Yeah. So I just put it there, and I think that's all you wanted us to do. Am I correct? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, all is well. And
I mean, I'm
we
saying this
definitely can see that you have a transliteration right here on the side to the left. And in each word, that's exactly what we wanted you to do. Now, as far as getting into the transliteration, we could have went into that, but that ain't a big deal because I didn't say go into it. When we go into the definition of the words, for example, it's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'll have you pull this chart back up, and then we'll go into it together. I'm doing this for a reason, to show our family something. So you did the right thing. You didn't do anything wrong. Islam. That's
okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
How you go ahead?
Oh, I would. Yeah, I didn't have. I was just wanting to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gratitude. Okay. So, right, like I said, that was that particular thing, and so let's go down. Yeah, I'm just here just where I put all of them together. The next one, choose the 7 words of your choice. Okay, I did that. Use the gematria number value to each one. And you said atomic mass. And I just kind of like wonder why, but I'm not questioning it, I think I already did this too. I go here. And okay, these are the 7 words that I converted into the letter. I think this using the gematria number value of each letter, you convert it to a number. Found you say atomic mass, not to be confused with the atomic number of the elements found in the periodic object. Okay, and I looked at those, but And this is the atomic mass here of those. Well, as I, okay, I can go from A, use circle, one of my words, right? And A was the dimension. Okay. Okay. Now you say compare that to the atomic mass, because the atomic mass is 16, but that doesn't identify the actual element. Actual element will be identified by its atomic number, heat, which is oxygen. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the
Yes,
element.
actually, when we say atomic mass, we're talking about the atomic mass of the element. So, it's there. You're talking about the
Oh, yeah,
element,
yeah. Of
but
course.
you
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
okay, we're talking about the atomic mass of the element. And what we do, we take each one of those, which is behind the period. That's the atomic mass. And then we take that and we compare that, from the words that we have, not the English words. Again, you can do that way, but we was talking about the words that you actually created. You see what I'm saying? Not created, but
the Arabic numbers?
No, the one.
I'm sorry.
Okay, the ones that you chose, my brother, from the Hebrew Lexicon. The 7 words, because remember, you had 7 from the Arabic that you compared to your hieroglyphic, and I said that the second session, was different from the first task. So the 7 words that, the 7 words that you took from the lexicon, those are the words that you would basically, like I did with the one word that I did.
Here. Are you talking about like these? Because I took these out of the lexicon: clean, encircle, clean, await, complete, elevate, fasten, unity. This is the words you're talking about?
That's the definition of the word. I was talking about the actual word. You see, which is the GL and the Y that you have here. Yeah, your value should have been took from that.
Okay, well, that's interesting because I kind of figured that's what you wanted. I mean, I'm thinking that's what you wanted because I had to go back and forth to really, really actually do this. And so if I go back.
But I can tell that you had the idea. I mean, you did the same thing Sister Carter Bay did. You used the definition of the word as opposed to the word itself. Whereas like if you look, when I gave the example, I used the word itself, and then I got my gematria from that, the AHLA. You see what I'm saying? The Allah that I use.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, you had the right idea. You just chose, the gematria value in the definition of the word instead of the word itself, the Hebrew lexicon word. So just like you used the 7 Arabic words, that's why I said Hebrew lexicon, Islam. And the only thing we were doing is identifying the atomic mass, which deals with the weight of the element. You see? That's what the atomic mass is. It's the weight of the element. And that's the same way the God code was basically deciphered by using the atomic mass.
When I looked up atomic mass, gave me a whole okay, on this paper here it says atomic mass equals is that anywhere close to where you at?
I can't hear you, brother. You kind of blanked out a little bit. Can you say that again?
Oh, yes, sir. This is what I'm trying to figure out because I went to several different charts, periodic charts, you know what I mean? Like, and it had, this is what I'm using here. This is the same one in my presentation. right here. Like these two numbers here. Okay, first one, the top number is the atomic number. And the bottom one is supposed to be atomic mass. Would that be correct? Like in this boron. Oh, I can't hear you, bro. Your mic
Yeah,
is muted.
can you hear me
I hear you
now?
now. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me show you something. I'm gonna share my screen right here.
Okay.
Yeah, stop sharing yours and I'm gonna share mine. Okay, I'll show you right here. Let me do it here. Here we go. Okay. I'm finna show you right here, this right here. Here we go right here. If you notice here, right, you see this here on carbon?
Islam.
Can you see that?
Islam.
Yeah, this is not the atomic mass right here.
Yeah,
This is the atomic mass right here. See the 12 right there, 12 and 12?
That's what I was saying.
You was asking me the difference between this and this, right?
I wasn't asking you.
On the top number, right?
I mean,
I say you spoke on the top number, right? This is the atomic.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that's what identifies the element.
Yeah, but we wasn't talking about this number here. This
right?
is the atomic. This is the atomic mass. Go ahead, brother.
I couldn't understand. Yeah, I couldn't understand what they had to do with it. I mean, with the Simon checking.
This is the atomic mass right here, my brother. So when you go into the atomic mass, right? The atomic mass is also connected to the weight of the element. This atomic number is just assigned to the element. We didn't go into dealing with this. The reason we went into this again is because this is the way the God code was deciphered by the atomic mass. You see, so all the letters, this particular letter here, you isolate from this, even though it's connected to the weight, it's still dealing with the atomic mass itself. And so when you go into this particular number, this is the number that gives you, whatever element it is in relation to dealing with the value itself. You see what I'm saying? We're not dealing with the atomic number, we're dealing with the atomic mass. You see, that's how the God code was detected. And that's why we use that particular number. You see?
Oh, yes, sir.
So we use the same methodology, that the God code was deciphered. And we just applied this with our knowledge, to the way that we were dealing with our words over here. That's all we did. That's why I used that atomic mass. You got me?
Gratitude. Okay, then I'm gonna stand down. Okay, I'm gonna let the next
you have more to present. No need to stand down unless
no, I just rather stand down because apparently I was on the wrong track. Okay, you corrected me. And so I'll just listen so I can update my understanding. Class. Huh?
Okay, brother, all is well. All is well, no problem here. Gratitude. All right. Praise be to Allah. So let us call forth, hold up, let me see. I think our brother Bati Bey had his hand raised too. Let me stop sharing this screen so the brother can come forth. Islam?
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, this is right up my alley right here. I like science, like the science, this stuff. Yeah, this really got to me. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Boom. Okay, and I did the words I didn't get the words, the definition when you said switch it to the first part of the lesson, because I dived in on what I thought was going to be the most complex part to try to get that part done, and I didn't really have time to go backwards. But I did do the adding the numbers to the taking the numbers and putting them with the, I guess it's called the gematria. So I just went down and Aleph, the numerical value 1, as you see, just to show you that I did, hold on, there we go. Just show that I did this work and so forth. I went on down and I noticed that since these were 22 and that was 28, it didn't all match up. But when it got to one of these letters, they didn't really have a, like, where's it at? Let me see if I can find this one. This one right here. This one was kind of complex because it gave 80, but it put the word F, it had the letter F there, but it said that that the P would sometimes be, when I looked into the writing modes, it said that the P sometimes interchange with the F, if I'm correct, and or the pronunciation, the sound of it is mouth. So I took that as it being 80 because it didn't fall in. I couldn't find the this letter, so I took that as the next one on going down the line in the consecutive order that he has on there. And there was another letter that did the same thing. I'm unable to recall right now. And I just went down through here. Now, yeah, get to this part. So I went in and I picked the letters or the word and gave up brought the definition from the lexicon, the Hebrew lexicon, and Bakir, or it could, because you know that well, everybody out here knows that the vowels aren't used in here. So I have Bakar or Bakir, which is the first fruit. And this translates, it says the first fruit being the choices, to be born or bear the first fruit. It goes into a young camel, which kind of brought me back to the word Gamil, where they have Gamil and they try to say Gamil and camel. So that was just a thought that came across my mind. It says the firstborn daughter, the firstborn son of a man or animal, and so forth. And so when I went to I took the gematria that Mustafa Gadala had in the writing modes, and I took the B, which was 2. And since there's no atomic number or atomic chemical for 2, I added that to the K, which is 100. So I say 102, which brought the atomic mass of rhodium. And if we look right here, let me blow this up. Rhodium has atomic mass of 102. So being because hydrogen is only 1 and you don't really have a 2, so I just, like I said, that'd be 2 hydrogen, and that, or combined with the K, it'd be rhodium. And then the R was gave the value of 200, which was mercury. So that combined would be a RHHG. Or you could break that down to be hydrogen, 2 hydrogen molecules, and rhodium, or 2 hydrogen molecules, and there was a 100. I don't recall what that one was. The next one I did was bar, which was master. It says rule master as a yoke which binds the master to the servant. Rule, marry, husband, dominion, wife, master, man, owner, husband, master, mistress. And it says, so we went back to the gematria, which is gave the value of 2 for the B, 1 for the A, and H was the 8, L was 30. So that came to be, since I couldn't find a a 2 or a 1. I combine these two and got 11. That's what I have right here. I got 11 right here, and combine those three, actually, the B, the A, and the H to get 11. And I have the L. Hold on, I got this one down. Looks better around. And I have so that would be barium, the atomic, which was a chemical barium, and then you have what's the H or the L? It's phosphorus, barium and phosphorus together. My other word, or the 7 words that we chose to choose, was GBR, which was warrior. And it says prevail, warrior, one of great strength or authority, a master. Prevail, to be successful in strength or authority. Prevail, strength, great. Confirm, exceed, mighty. Put strong, valiant. It goes on with the definitions. And when I broke down that word, the gematria, or the numerical value of 3 plus 2 gave me 5, because there is no 3 for the on the periodic table that of atomic weight or atomic mass, and there is no 2 for the atomic mass. So it gave me 5, which I broke back down to 4 and 1, which gave me He, which is helium, and 1 particle of hydrogen. And then combined with the mercury, so it will read HeH or Hg. So you can either put the Hg in the middle or what, however. I'll show you that later on another one I got. This one, ZRHH, which is Zaraha, or Hey, which means rise, dawn. The rising of the sun in the eastern horizon, prescribed path of the sun. Rise, it says dawn, or early morning. Eastward, sunrise, native, born, country, land, homeborn, nation, or bay. And so when I broke this down, the Z had the value of 900. So I had to break 900 down into other chemicals. So I chose OG, which is 294, which is agoniston, and PD, which is 106, which is palladium. And then I get 200 for Hg, which is mercury. And that's for the R. This actually goes with the R, my fault. No, that goes with that one for the 900, my fault. And then you have, again, the R equals mercury, which is 200. And then He, I did the 5 or the 8 on this one. And I combined both H's because one was let me look back up here, 127. So you had 2 different H's. So the big one, the capital H I took for the first one that translated into 5, and then I don't have to. And this one was 8. That's what gave me 13. So back down to 27. That's what gave me 13. So I combined those 2 and got H5 and H8, which is 13. And I had to break that back down, carbon and hydrogen. So and the next one I did was BHHN. I wouldn't know what the Behehin, which means examine, watchtower, a close and careful examination of a place or something, an inspection to determine effectiveness, examination to select the choice, examine to test, try to scrutinize. And what's crazy is when we say we got to examine ourselves, that doesn't mean just to look at what we're doing. It means to actually test yourself. Test yourself with what you know, test yourself with the information. And as we know, this to test your understanding is what we're doing right now. Examine, and I have B as the 2. And so I took the hydrogen molecule, because hydrogen molecule has a atomic mass of 1. So put a hydrogen molecule twice. And I took the H, the first H, which is 5, and the second H that gives a value of 8, and sum it up is 13. And so I had to break that back down, the 12 and the 1, which was carbon and hydrogen. And then the N gave me the value of 50. So that was vanadium. I've never heard of that. I don't really have what vanadium or some of the heavier atomic weights does for the body. Those were, I put together what I could. And so we got DBQ here, said adhere. Said adhere, cold fastener, to join, to stick to someone or something. Cleave, follow, overtake, stick, keep, abide, close, join, pursue. And so D gave me the value of 4, which was helium. B, 2, which was hydrogen 2 times. And 6 gave me the value for lithium. And Q was had the value of 100, so that was ruthenium. And then the last but not least, these right here, when you see these were the when I tried to transfer it over, what it gave me for the hieroglyphic and the Hebrew translation, but this is what it put it in, so this number. So this word meant order. It says word arrangements or placement of something, creating order. Speak, a careful arrangement of words or commands. Paul, Nafal, Nafil, Hatpael, Paul, and Pia. It says talk, promise, tell, commune, pronounce, utter, command. It says a word arranging of words, things as something that things in a range. In Hebrew thought, words contain substance just as a physical objects do. And so 4 again gave me helium. B, I put 2 hydrogen molecules. And the R gave me the 200, the value of 200, which was mercury, or combine the 4 and 2 together, which was lithium and mercury. And so with that, that's the end of my measures.
In Islam, we give honors to you, brother. And you actually did it opposite of what Marvin Edwards Bey did, but you correctly used the right words. You used the words from the lexicon to get your number. And so that's a grand draw. Only thing you didn't do is go in detail of the elements. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And go into them. And also, I see you didn't go into the hieroglyphic measure. That's neither here nor there. You still did a portion of the work. And the measure is going to do that research and seeing how and it don't have to just be limited to the body, because we're dealing with really the macrocosm and the microcosm. So once you see them elements, certain things that come together dealing with those elements, my brother, the combinations of them, you'll be surprised if you see them come together in the word, you know, how they function together in creation. You see what I'm saying? And it's through these formulas that one can find things necessary to not only know how creation works, but you can find the formulas that will allow you to find things that may heal yourself. Or you may be able to discover things in creation that are hidden from the naked eye, because if you know about what is called knowledge and what they call Hebrew, we call it proto-Sinite or proto-Canaanite normally, you know, it's the word for it is olam, you know, and that word olam corresponds with the word ilm or ilm in Arabic. And both of them words have to do with alchemy by definition, also have to do with knowledge, but the olam more emphasizes the hidden meaning, you know, behind what it is that you see, the hidden meaning of creation. So they refer to this as the knowledge, which is the true definition of science from the ancient measures. So if you can go through the gematria and pull these things up, in these words are encoded, you know, the knowledge to be able to, like I say, tap into those things that are hidden to the naked eye, you know, and also go into the things that have to do with the working of the body and the universe. You see what I'm saying? So you was on point. You know, I seen the way you did it. That was a grand drawing. You know, only thing you didn't do, like I said, is go in there and just break down the elements. And so on your own time, you know, you can go and study into that and see what the combination of those elements really do as far as they functions. Because that's the way the world is made up. That's what make everything different. Everything in creation, from every atom or every particular life form, it has its own symmetry. You know what I mean? By which it is reacting. So all of these different elements, they react in different ways, like the hydrogen, you know, and the oxygen. And then this especially, they all have a function together, but they also have a separate measure that come out of those things that give us a more greater understanding of peering into the mysteries, so to speak, of creation. You know,
this was a rare message. This was a rare message. Real deep and insightful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I say, we give honors to you because we see you picked up on the measure. And just like Marvin Evans, they put the hieroglyphs up there. You know what I mean? And it's like all y'all taking a portion and doing a portion, you know, of it. So it's still, you know, no wrong answer, nothing like that. The main thing is just having a proper understanding. Like I was telling our brother earlier, if you go here in the God code, these are the elements they use. They said the alchemical element, which is fire, air, and water, right? Then the elements of our body's DNA, which is hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, right? And then it goes into the reduced atomic mass as a Hebrew letter code. And then that's when they come up to 1 to 5 and the 6. We didn't go into the reduction, you know, because I didn't want to make it difficult for our Moorish kin, you know what I mean? I just said deal with the atomic mass itself. You see what I'm saying? And so same as the elements of the Hebrew letters Y, H, and VH. And he was able to find this, you know, as a result of going into the code as it relates to the elements. You see what I'm saying? The same word that has to do with basically God. And so here he said, in the Hebrew alphabet, there are exactly 3 letters, and only 3 whose hidden number codes precisely match the simple mass for the ancient elements of creation. The hidden value of the Hebrew letters Y, H, and V are found to resolve to numbers 1, 5, and 6, respectively. So you see how you basically did that from your standpoint, Brother Bati Bey, and that's what we were trying to get the Moorish kin to demonstrate. So it says, through these simple apple-to-apple relationships in nature, we may now replace the elements of the human DNA with their counterparts from the Hebrew alphabet. By simply matching the numbers in the box rows, it is possible to directly link the ancient letters of Hebrew alphabet with the elements of modern science. So you see, that's what we really had our people doing, right? And this is dealing with the atomic mass of the number. You see what I'm saying?
And, so what if the hieroglyphic? What if the hieroglyphics is nothing but what we're discussing right now?
Well, that's basically what we've been saying. You know, there are codes in the hieroglyphic, but the thing is, they were never meant to be understood as alphabets. And the only reason we had the Moors create a chart, it was for the purpose. And I'm gonna get back to Marvin Edwards Bay chart, you know, once, you know, everybody done, and I'll show you what we were doing with that. You know what I mean? The whole goal was to show you how easy it is to create, you know, pictorial expression. And then I put the Arabic transliteration there to show you that we deal with the transliteration. We ain't dealing with the pictures. You see what I'm saying? And I'm showing you how Rome basically did this, to pull the wool over the eyes, and our people so mesmerized about the symbol, but the symbol ain't got nothing to do with the transliteration. You see what I'm saying? Outside of them using that as an alphabet, I was letting our Moorish kin basically see how easy it is. One can say, okay, I created, you know, some hieroglyphics. Now this how y'all read it. when the symbols ain't got nothing to do with the word, because that word is in Arabic. So them pictures ain't gonna do you no good without the Arabic dictionary. You got me? You see what I did? You know, to make how people see the working knowledge. And I could have chose Hebrew words and then just put the symbols up there. You know what I mean? But you can look all you want to in them symbols without knowing that that's an Arabic root. Just like we know that the real root is hieratic in that book. So you should be looking at the hieratic and not the symbol. See how plain that becomes? So we were just giving our people a working knowledge on why pictures cannot be an alphabet. You know, that's the real reason behind it. We're going to go into the definition of Marvin Edward Bay chart. We're going to have him pull that back up, you know, and we'll show you, we'll see what we transliterate out of what he put there. You know, it's random words that he chose, but we're going to see what come up out of that. And I'm going to show you how the European take these things and then make them what they want to be. So Islam, that's basically what's behind all that. But you did a good job, brother. Praise be to Allah. You know, keep up the good work. All right. Well, is there any other more that would like to come forth for their homework? Look at our granddad secretary. She reluctantly say, I. And we know she finna go down through there and up through there. Islam granddad secretary of the state.
Islam, Moorish King, gratitude. First of all, I want to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our ears class, to our Georgia consulate for providing a forum to all of our Moorish kin that open up our meeting according to law. Also to Act 1 and to our host, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shedu Amenti El-Mohedjed Shepsuel. It's been a great, I tell you, this has been a lesson, all right? Very in-depth, but as Dr. Bati Bey was speaking about, it was challenging, you know, but it was exciting in doing the thing. I'm gonna share my screen. Can you more see it? Oh, wait. Can you more see my screen?
Oh yeah, we see you, Granddad Secretary of State.
Okay. First, always deal with the assignment as put forth, and our Moorish kin has brought it forth. Use the Mustafa Gondola's book of the alphabetical creation cycle to create your own hieroglyphic script from Apollo hieroglyphs and PDF, 28 letters of the abjad, then choose your 7 Arabic words to write these words in the hieroglyphic font you created. Use the Egyptian alphabetical creation cycle to compare gematria number values to the 22 letters of the Proto-Canaanite / Moabite script. Choose 7 words of your choice from the ancient Hebrew Lexicon and use the gematria number values to convert each letter of your 7 chosen words to numbers. Use the gematria number value of each letter you convert it to a number and find the atomic mass, not to be confused with the atomic number of the elements found in the periodic table of elements. See example on the last page in the PDF attached, and study each element you find after your letter to number conversion and give a presentation on the discovery of your research into the elements you found in your word conversion. Demonstrate the importance of the elements as to how they work. This is basically going through the abjad alphabets and using Apollos to attach a particular hieroglyphic. For my A, I went with, and I used a page number so that I could go back as far as what symbol that I use from Apollo. So I'm not flipping through the entire, you know, hundreds of pages. So Hawk, as far as Aleph, meaning God or excellence. Also use that scarab beetle, the BEYT. Well, scarab beetle is generation, father, world, man. And Dr. Dunder gave a beautiful metaphysical example in reference to that scarab beetle. You know, the gem, I used the vulture. They said that there were no male vultures, mother and heaven. I'm like, okay, that was a whole, I didn't actually put the whole thing, just kind of the essence of what each glyph meant, because that too was helping familiarize self with some of these symbols. Tao is heaven and earth. Heh, God created fate, and it pulled out that star, dealing with the number 5, government of God's universe. Wa, Cynocephalus, a dog-headed man, habitable world, priest, anger, swimming of the moon. I'm like, what in the world, you know? But I recognize this part of the headdress, you know. Zane, I got the lions for this one. Fearless lion, hairs like the hairs on the lion's mane were like the rays of the sun. I said, okay, that kind of makes sense. You can see that. Head of a lion, to guard, watchful person. That just was to me symbolic of Muftis. I use a symbol as well. Fatah, rising of the Nile, Lord of the waters of the Nile. Yad, amulet of protection, symbolic of 2 heads, the male looking within, and the female looking without. For no demon will interfere with any individual, thus guarded. I said, now that was a paradigm shift. Not getting hung up in male and female, but the point of you got to be ever watching at all times, you know, your particular thought, you know, and dealing with the study of the self, which ties right into what the prophet said. Kaf, imperfect man, and uses frog as generated from slime of the river. Imperfect man. I'm like, goodness. So I was just, you know, being amazed at some of the meanings that have been attached with these symbols. Lam, I use the hair opening, symbolic of the hair as his eyes are always open, which to me was indicative of the 3rd eye. And, you know, consciousness, of course. Meme, to denote ancient descent, is a bundle of papyrus as primeval food, as no one can determine the source of food or descent. So they use the papyri to denote one's descent and also the source of food, which you know, again, another paradigm shift to see how they perceive that. Noon, the ibis, to delineate the heart, for this is symbolic of Tho, who's Lord of every heart and of reasoning. The scene, ink, sieve, and the reeds, the sacred scribe who judges of life and death, to denote sacred letters, sacred scribe, or boundaries. The Ain, sign dealing with the dog, depicted as a sacred scribe, prophet, embalmer, government, or judge. One desirous of becoming a sacred scribe should be extremely careful. Bark perpetually, be fierce, fawning upon no one. So that to me was the interpretation of using the attributes of the special dog as how you're supposed to be demonstrating when you're in government positions. You can't be playing with people, you know, because familiarity, we know what that breeds. I mean, I was just getting revelations from just the connection of the hieroglyph to what they ascribed it to be. The F, I used bearer of the shrine, depicts keeper of the house, because by him the temple is guarded. The fish, facade, denotes a thing unlawful or abomination and a pollution. Quaff, representing a mouth. The serpent is depicted. The serpent is powerful in nothing else but his mouth alone. And prophet speaks about that tongue. So I was, you know, trying to metaphysically hook it up, even though that's why I didn't put that metaphysics part down there, because it just said pick the letter, match it to a hieroglyph, you know. So R, dealing with manliness combined with temperance of a bull, which we had spoken about bull in class before. The sheen, to denote Hearing is the ear of the bull. The T, to denote a son. Chinolopex, never heard of that before. Animal excessively fond of its offspring. To symbolize an unjust and sinful man is the hippopotamus. We heard about that hippopotamus before, with 2 claws turned downward. Impossibility represents a headless man walking, or a man walking on water, which we know that walking on water is not really an impossibility for a God man on all points. Tao, a vigilant king, is depicted as a serpent upon the watch. Again, you know, Mufti degree. Dod, people obedient to their king, is depicted by the bee. Crocodile, tending downward, denotes sunset, as the animal is self-productive. And pardon us the letter sounds, because I don't have my thing with me. I'm just looking eyesight. Yin, darkness, is represented by the tail of the crocodile, inflicting death and destruction upon any animal it catches. Now, as far as picking the words, BANA, which is far away, remote from, divorced women, clear or obvious, easily understood. And of course, for my B, I had selected that the beetle, the A, the N, and the A again. So that was the first word. Second word was da, to repel, push, thrust, drive away with violence. And what I selected as the D, and the 2 A's, the 2 hawks. The saga, to water, give, to drink, irrigate. That was my description for that. Sasa, to protect, defend, preserve, keep safe, fortress, guard. That was my hieroglyphs for that. Na, to remove, be remote, turn away, keep anyone aloof. Hieroglyphs for that. Tada, to be firm and immovable, steadfast. Lofty mountain, which was my symbol for those 4 letters. The Fala, to be weak-minded, become fat, commit error. That was my symbol for that word. Coming from the comparing the gematria to the values, dealing with Mustafa Gondola, that was A through M and M through T. Pull 7 words from the Hebrew Lexicon. These are the first 5. Yob. And I went to the, what was the downloaded on the PDF. I always have to now put the page number so I can go back. Yob, standing firm for what is desired. Now, when I went to the periodic tables, well, I'm sorry, Y was 10, A was 1, dealing with the gematria values, and B was 2. 10 was boron, hydrogen 1. Now, I didn't do like Dr. Bati Bey in combining something, because I did not see a symbol, the atomic mass for 2, so I just left that blank. You know, I didn't even think about combining to see what that combination would be, but that was a grand demonstration. For AY, I had the 1 and the 10, and that again, that word means place, searching for unknown location or destination. That pulled up the A, hydrogen 1, and the boron 10 again. So those were the same 2 elements reversed. For AWM, values of 1, 6, and 13, that word means a binding together. So that pulled up hydrogen, lithium, and carbon. For AWT, values of A is 1, W 6, T is 9, the coming toward a mark, a standard or flag with the family mark hangs as a sign, an agreement or covenant. And see, some of these definitions were grand in itself, but the periodic table, I got hydrogen, lithium, and beryllium. BD, I assigned the letters of, I'm sorry, the numbers of 2 and 4. The meaning of that word was separate, alone, destruction, to lie or liar, causing separation through careless words and bragging. that came up with the period. I didn't see 2, but I was able to pull up the 4, which was helium. Now, the 6th and 7th word that I picked up from the Hebrew lexicon, BLH, which value is 2, 30, and 5. The definition of that was to stir, to trouble, the flowing of the insides through trouble, haste, anxiety, terror, a flowing away of function, life, or strength. That brought, the only one I could find in the periodic table was phosphorus, which was 30. So that's the only one I went with that, a special word. And then Ga, value assigned 3, 1, and 6. That word meant pride, lifting up in a positive or negative sense. So we know you can have the race pride or, the ego taken out, that you lifting up. For those 2 word values, 3, 1, and 6, I was only able to pull up the 1 of hydrogen and lithium of 6. Now, when I went to the elements itself, as far as the first word, Yob, boron and hydrogen is what was pulled up. So boron speeds up wound healing. Boron helps keep your teeth and gums healthy through reducing inflammation and improving bone and tissue repair. Prevents vitamin D deficiency. It's because of its role in reducing inflammation and activating healing cells of bones and joints. Boron is considered an effective natural treatment for osteoarthritis. It also balances hormones. The hydrogen acts as an antioxidant, and we know that you need that to fight cancer within the cells, and is also anti-inflammatory. And that's another silent disease where you can have over years where you maintain in the body a state of being inflamed, and this damages the cells within the body, and leads to greater diseases, and the root being the inflammatory demonstration. So the effects of hydrogen on patients with rheumatoid arthritis have shown a significant decrease in pain. This pain relief is due to the reduction in oxidative stress caused by the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties of hydrogen gas. It protects muscles, speeds up sports-related injuries, balances the pH of the blood, helps cellular health, boosts your mitochondria, and protects against DNA damage, cancer, protects organs, and calms allergies. And matching with that word, Yob, to stand firm, these 2 elements would be needed to help one stand firm. That's how I looked at that one. For lithium, that had a whole host of things. Combats depression, neuroprotective properties, Meniere's disease relief, headache relief, reduces epileptic seizures, improve mitochondrial function, management of Tourette's syndrome. So all of these diseases, lithium would benefit. Helps with anorexic nervosa, alcoholism treatment, longer life, and helps with OCD behaviors. And that was a paradigm shift right there. Not even, a lot of these trace minerals and things, we pop a multivitamin, don't even realize what's on the back of that, or what, what damage or side effects can be done or what have you. So when I went to carbon, that is increase in cellular health, protects against free radicals, which lead to cancer, prevents inflammation, kills viruses and bacteria, protects the nerves, protects UV damage, dealing with harmful rays of the sun, and improves obesity and metabolic syndrome. The beryllium, consumer electronics and telecommunication uses, cell phones, etc., telecommunications, and that beryllium was with the, hold on a second. That was with the AWT word, which meant the family mark or the covenant, so I was just trying to see the hookup. We know that we're in the age, the ethereal age, when it deals with communication through the ethers, things of that nature, so I was looking at it from that aspect. It also brought forward oil, gas, and automobile sector uses. Beryllium alloys are concentrated in the oil and gas sector, where it's valued as a high strength and temperature resistant. You know, I was looking at it dealing with the character being temperature resistant. We can't allow our passions and desires to get in the way of, you know, the divinity, or that's why we got to be constantly at the guard. For helium, helium has many qualities that make it irreplaceable. For starters, it's incredibly light. The smallest molecule, helium, is smaller than the hydrogen. Frictionless at specific temperatures. Coldest substance on Earth in liquid form. Helium is completely non-reactive. I'm like, wait a minute. Then these special characteristics and many more make helium ideal for cooling, maintaining controlled environments, leak detection, medical practices, and airborne activities, including lifting uses in blimps and balloons. Phosphorus strengthens bones and teeth, boosts digestion, detoxification, reduces muscle weakness, numbness, and fatigue, supports cognitive development, stimulates protein metabolism, boosts cell repair, ensures hormonal balance. Study each element. This is the last part of the assignment. You find after your letter to number conversion and give a presentation. This was what I ended it with: as above, so below. You know, as within, so without. Elements are part of our universe. We are lords of the plane of soul and the plane of things made manifest. It's a benefit to the health of man and Earth's environment. The deeper I do research into the study of cosmology, chemistry, alchemy, the more I discover just how beautifully and wonderfully man is created. Much praise to the Creator, honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and honor to our grand ancestors upon whose shoulders I stand and look to pass on the future goddess of the nation. Long live Moorish America. So praise the Lord. This long.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, Grand National Secretary of the State, can you show me again your 7 Arabic words? 2, by the way. That's a powerful demonstration. See, that's what I'm talking about. And all that science coming up out of, you know, just by going into the words, you know.
7 Arabic.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Saga.
Okay, starting with this one.
Yeah, you can start
okay.
there. And what we'll do, because you know, since you already got the slide, we can actually use your measure, you know, and I want to demonstrate what I was talking about earlier. And this word you have is bana, right? Okay, so I actually had we're gonna share back and forth between those words. So you can stop sharing. I'm gonna pull up the Arabic dictionary. That's B-A, okay, N-A, right?
Right.
Okay, so let me pull this dictionary up real quick. And we're just doing a short measure here. Okay, there we go. And I'll show you the easiest way that we can actually find these words without having to try to go through all the book. Okay, share the screen. There we go. And this is the same one that we have actually. Because you went out of your dictionary of the Holy Quran, right?
Right.
Okay. And so you can just go here to the front in most cases. And give me 1 second. Because they don't have this in the Abjad order. Okay, so we here in the Bana. So, okay. Go ahead, let me go down. All right. And we just doing this for the sake of showing our people, like I said, how before, the only difference is the European tried to hide, you know, everything up under the symbols, you know, the pictures, so to speak. Okay. All right, there it is right there. That's page 66, which is Bana, right there. Okay, so we'll go to 66, and that's how you find the words easy, so to speak. Okay, let me see here. Okay, we're going, oh, I done went too far. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's see. Page 66.
Okay, babe.
Ooh, I went way far. I'm way down here in the 200s. Goodness gracious. Let me pull it up like this here. This will probably get me there quicker. Okay. There we go. It went right to it, man. Allah must have been working. You seen that, Moors? It popped right up. Goodness gracious. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Divine intervention. So, yeah, this is page again 66. Here's Bana. Now, if you notice, and this is what we want to show you how it works when you deal with transliterations, right? This would be called transliteration, and then you got your translation as far as dealing with definition. As you notice, there's a whole lot going on here. It ain't just saying one thing. It says to build, construct, erect, right? It says also bana, abina. It says the final ya is changed to aleph. It says it followed by a personal pronoun. Banha. It said edifice for protection. That's one of the definitions. Sealed roof, right? That's another one. Structure. That's another one. So if somebody translating the Quran, they can choose any one of these particular words based on, you know, if they feel they want to choose it. You know what I mean? This is why we tell you the translation is not necessarily the book itself, but an attempt to express what's being said. You see, so we should never look at any translation as the transliteration. You see, that's why you hear the chairman say the transliteration through the ancient KEMETian teaching, he's saying that accurately and correctly. So it says any production or piece of work consisting of parts joined together in some definite manner. In order, bana also means builder. It means mason or architect, and it ain't talking about a Western Freemason either. It's talking about the ancient builders. You know, Bunyan is building a structure in fabric. You know, and so it gives different measures as to how they use it and how there are changes in the word down here. You know, and that's not really necessary for me to go into, you know, but nevertheless, in most cases, when they use this, it's in reference to dealing with structures, things being brought together, you know, joining things, an edifice, protection, and so forth and so on. That's how you would find it used. But the key is here, right now, if we were transliterating the Grand National Secretary of the State's measure, you know, we could use any one of these words to express it. Which one would you choose, Grand National Secretary of the State? Out of all of these here?
I would have to say builder.
Builder? Okay, builder, right? So what we're going to do, we want the Moors to write that down real quick. That's the first word. Now, share your screen and give us the next one, Grand National Secretary of the State. I'm going to stop sharing mine and you can share it. We're going back and forth here. So we see builder is the first word the Grand National Secretary of State has for this particular word created from her hieroglyphs. This is the transliteration. The next is the da, right? Okay, so again, now I will share my screen. Okay, now I come forth. And neither one of us know how this thing is going to turn out. That's why I didn't really give the Moors that instruction, because I wanted to see how this thing manifests on its own, you know, as opposed to us going into it. And that way it'll be a true translation, so to speak, from the transliteration. So let's go here. We go right back up here to the top. Again, this is showing our Moorish kin how to easily navigate as well through this book. So we go to A's, I's, okay, U's, B's, okay. Because they don't have them in an abjad order. It's actually in, you know, the harmonic.
Now that one's on 178.
It's 178. Oh, well, yeah, if that's right, if you can just give me the page, that'll make it even better then. That way I can get right through it. Okay, so 178. Okay, here we go here. Let's see where we at. 178. Okay, that's 73, 74, 75, 76, 78. Go right there. All right. So we have here and we got two of them. Now, one of them, actually, yeah, it's two of them here with the word. Which one did you choose? The one on top here or the bottom, Grand National Secretary of the State?
Probably the top one.
The top one?
Yeah, it was the top one because I remember part of it, drive away with violence. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, Islam. So this is powerful. All right, da. It means to repel, push, thrust back, drive away with violence, thrusting. Now, notice the further definitions they give here in Yadu'u, Yadu'una. You see, which he repels, they shall be urged to, right? Be thrust into, disdainful. So, you know, this is really not just dealing with, you know, a physical aspect where you pushing somebody, but to repel or push against anything and drive away anything with force, basically. You see? So that's our next word. And which one would you have to choose out of this special measure, Grand National Secretary of the State, if you were to choose any of these special words?
But now see, Dr. Shaheed, looking at it from the duality aspect and the reason why we need our compass, I was looking at both of these definitions, the negative aspect as far as dealing with to push something away on with a negative mindset, because that's the, you know, that's the weeds in the garden. And then I also was looking at, because down here it says to call out or call upon. You know, see, it would be difficult for me to just select the one word because I would want to show the negative and the positive aspects of it. But if I had to choose, I would probably go with the positive one. If I had to choose one, I would say to call upon.
Okay,
you know.
okay. And these, that's two different words though. That's one. Yeah,
okay.
But you know, if you were to choose from this particular one, it's all right. So we can put to call upon as your next, you know, translation. That's no problem. You know, so this is dealing with the intent. You know, so we have bill to call upon so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, bill to call upon. Okay, and your next page number for the next word?
That is page 262. The word is SAGA.
Okay, 262 SAGA. Okay,
right.
262. Let's go there. Almost there. Okay, here we go. 262, which is Saga. There we go. Here we go. You talking about right here at the top, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, it means to water, to give to drink, irrigate. He shall be given to drink. The act of giving drink, drinking cup, right? Sukya. Sukyaya, you know, and it goes on with water, and we know this is dealing with water. Water is also synonymous with knowledge, we know that. You know, and this is basically dealing with he wanted to give, gave the drink, you know, thou watered. You know, this is definitely dealing with water according to this definition. Which one of these words that you would bestly choose and think fits into this measure, Grand National Secretary of the State, that you bring forth? But this is powerful here.
To give drink.
To give drink.
Right.
So we have,
that's indicative of a Moorish American. To give of, that's part of our duty, to give drink.
Gratitude, and that's powerful because we're talking about building, you see, and then we're talking about calling upon to give drink, right? Okay, so Bill called upon to give drink. That's what we have so far. Islam, write it down, Moors. You know, let's go to the next word, Grand National Secretary of the State.
Next word, SASA, Sasa, found on page 326.
Okay, I ain't got that far. Oh, I went too far. I ain't got that far to go to that one. 326. Almost there. 326. Let's see here. Almost there. Okay. A little bit more. Okay.
And can you widen the page a little bit more?
Oh, you want me to? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know it wasn't big. I definitely expand that. Let me see.
Gratitude.
Okay. All right. And you said the next word was again, which one?
S-A-S-A.
Okay, that's right here. Sasa. To protect, defend, preserve, protect, keep safe, guard. Sisatun. Sisyasi. Fortress. Cockspur. Horn. Anything that is used for protection, safety, defense, and preservation. Islam. And so which one would you choose from this?
To protect. Allah is our protector. Yep.
Islam, that's right. So we have a builder to call upon, to give water, to protect is what we have so far, right? Oh man, This thing right here is looking good already. But you see how I'm showing how they are able to take certain things if they put a script up under it, and they're not using the pictures now. They got to use the transliteration. You see? And so we use in Arabic as the word that corresponds, you know, to the breakdown. And this is coming from the combination that you chose in your words, you see? But the pictures don't have anything to do with this per se. It's the transliteration of the word. You see that, Grand National Secretary of the State?
Yes, sir.
And that's how easy it was for them to pull over the wool like they did. Let's finish translating the last 3 words and see what this demonstration come out to.
Okay, number 5, I have NAA, which is on page 549.
Okay, 549, that ain't far from here. Okay, 549. Yeah, and if it was any way different, we'd actually be looking in, you know, Egyptian, one of the dictionaries that they have out here. And like I said, we are just making sure that our people can see the difference between, you know, those pictures and a transliteration. 549. Okay, let me, I hope I this one more. There we go, right there. Okay, and which one of these words you chose, Grand National Secretary of the State?
NAA.
Okay, NAA. Okay, that's right here. Let me make sure it's not.
There it is. There it is.
That's it right there. Okay, there we go. To remove, be remote, turn away, keep anyone aloof, avert, retire. Islam. And we can see that as special drawing right there, what it pretty much means. So which one of those words, Grand National Secretary of State, would you use?
To turn away.
Islam.
Because the prophet spoke about get right up to the gate and then you turn back around to turn away.
Goodness gracious. Islam. And so that's powerful, you know. So we have now builder, to call upon. And what was the other word behind that?
Saga, to give drink.
To give drink and to protect.
Right.
Right, to protect, you know. And then we have, you said to turn away.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right, to turn away. You know, okay, Islam. And we got 2 more words. And what were the other 2?
TAGA. It's on page 3, 4, 5.
Okay, 3, 4, and 5. Like you said, Morris, neither one of us, you know, knew what this would transliterate as until we transliterated. You say 3, 4, 5, Grand National Secretary? Okay. Let me make sure I ain't going too far. Okay, I'm almost there. I let it run a little bit. 242, 3, 4, 5. Okay. almost there. 259. Let it run a little bit more. Okay. 276. Let's see. 294. A little bit more. 345. Okay, here we go. Okay, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
There we go, right there. And which one of these you use?
P-A-D.
Okay, so that's this one here, right? Tada.
No, it was only 3 letters.
Oh, it was 3? Okay.
No,
So
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right, Moore. You're right. T-A-D-A. I didn't write that other A on my page.
Oh,
You're right.
It's all right. All is well. And because actually, you know, if you were to go in there, it would be just TAD because the vowels were added in the transliteration where you can see it, but right here it is just TAD. So you still correct. So it says to be firm and immovable, steadfast, right? Then they say Tadum, which is lofty mountain, cliff, mall. This also goes back to being firm as well. Elevated, overlooking a tract of land. Make me think about the pyramid. You know, one big temple of perfected man as well. And so which one would you choose out of that one, Grand National Secretary of the State?
Steadfast.
Steadfast. Islam. Instead of turning away, one becomes steadfast. Okay, and the last but not least, the last word.
Last word is Fala, F-A-L-A, on page 439.
439. Okay, so that ain't
Yes.
far from here. Let's see. Me, I went too. Yeah, I knew I probably went too far because this right here. Okay, you said 439?
Yes.
Okay. So we ain't got that far to go from here. All right. There we go. I'm right there. Okay, 39. There we go. Okay, and that was the top, right?
F-A-L-A.
Okay, which means to be weak-minded, become fat, or commit error. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, so basically in order for us to be, you know, in a state of not being that way, then we got to be like that mountain. We got to be lofty in our thoughts, huh?
Islam.
So that fell right on time. Now, can you give us that back, you know, in the translation?
Weak-minded would be the word I would
Okay,
choose for that.
weak-minded. And so the full transliteration, you know, through translation becomes what, Grand National Secretary of the State?
You talking about all 7 words?
Yeah, all of them together with what we just broke down.
Okay, builder, to call upon, to give drink, to protect, to turn away, steadfast, and weak-minded.
Oh, and that's a powerful demonstration right there. Because what we did is we transliterated these things in the words by your choice. You could have chose any word, but those were the words you chose. And this is basically how the European began to bring measures on the manifest. And then sometime, based on the words they brought forth, they'll put certain things in their connotations, you know, certain contexts to shift, you know, the phrase the way they want it to be phrased. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So all the while, remember, think about this, just like the Europeans went to the Coptic Christians to try to get their definitions, because they didn't come up with this on their own. We just went to, you know, just say we went to the people of Arabia, just saying because we're using Arabic language. We know this is dealing with the language of Allah, not Arabian. But let's say we went to one that knew this language and they gave us, you know, these definitions. We wrote them down. And then we came with our thesauruses based on the one word we gave for a word. And then we add, you know, how many other definitions of one word that you can have. When you go into a thesaurus, you may find, you know, one word, but 30 different words. And so this is how really you put dictionaries together. Or you can choose the words that you believe correspond with what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? And that's how easy it is. But are the pictures needed there, Grand National Secretary of the State?
No, sir. No, sir.
Right. And so now when we look at this through the light of how they dealt with the hieratic and hid it up under the symbols, don't it make sense how they was able to do it now?
Yes. Yes. Praise the Lord. Gratitude.
Yeah, so we just wanted to give a working example of that, and you did a great job, Grand National Secretary of the State. You aced it as always. But we know because you actually taught, and you're a teacher, have those type of credentials. So it don't surprise us. And this is what we talk about. Everybody gave their measures and contributed, by the way. Everybody gave grand drawings, but the Grand National Secretary of the State most definitely gave it to us most plainly. So we want to give honors to you, Grand National Secretary of the State, for the work. And if we do these types of researches on our own, again, this is information that help us in our herb health and healing class. Now we know the elements, that refer to certain things when it come down to dealing with the healing. This is where we can actually become, once we are qualified with our own nation, which we are now, I'm saying we can actually begin to study pharmacy, based on these things. Well, we know this is for that and that's for that. And then we create our own products, to be able to heal our people. So you see how deep this goes beyond just looking at the words and the geometry. It's a beautiful thing to deal with the letters and the number, but another thing to know what's really hidden behind them. And this is what we call reading the book of creation. So Islam, Sister Dendra Nikurtabe.
Islam. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I'm trying to follow because I'm gratitude for using her slide, and I see. So we on that number. The answer where you say choose 7 Arabic words, and I was following you because what I don't have the Quran that y'all be talking about. The only Quran I got is our Holy Quran, but I do have that Arabic dictionary, and I was following her as she went, as you took us through the but the question I got right quick is, why did she choose the word builder?
She didn't know what, she didn't know what word she was choosing, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, until she probably looked up the definition later, you see, and we just went into the definition of the word, and I'm glad she did it that way. Same as Marvin Epplesby. We don't know what his translate. That would be for him to translate it through the dictionary and tell us what it say. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
In the light of the time, we won't go into it now, but we could have did that with either one of those words and got a sentence out of each one.
Okay, and I kind of understand now how you was wanting us to after when you was giving the definition, and then you would say pick out what like when she said to protect, to give drink, when you was asking. Now I kind of understand how she was going about doing this. So gratitude for taking the time out, because I didn't really understand how to use that dictionary either. I had gotten it because you had mentioned it on one of the calls to get it. So I had gotten it, but I really didn't understand how to use it. So this is really helping me. Gratitude, God, man. Peace and love.
Oh yeah, peace and love. And we'll let the Grand National Secretary of the State also come forth and answer as well her question. Islam, Grand National Secretary of the State.
Gratitude, Dr. Shaheed. Yes, and Dr. Dendra, it was like when Dr. Shaheed was asking me which word would you pick, because we have been so bombarded by what Rome says, and this is how it is. It was like, okay, this is ours. We are Moorish Americans. We are creators. So I'm like, what is going to be most indicative and in line with what the holy and divine instructions the prophet is teaching to us? So with builder, we know that we got to build a temple of perfected man, or we know that we have to, I was going along with that mindset as a Moorish American, and what's going to best get to our people as far as the end result unfolding into the God state or solving the fix. So that builder ethereally went out to me, you know, and that's the mindset that I use. What's going to be most beneficial for what our people can readily understand, you know, like to turn away or, you know, turn your back on something. You that's from a Moorish perspective, as opposed to what Rome and we putting out this dependence in our hand, in essence, you know, Islam.
Islam, gratitude. And I understood how you, when you went through all of them definitions, they just, it's the same, just like you said, it basically explains how we can do on our journey. And like you pointed out, we can get, the prophet say, we can get right to the door and then we'll turn around. So gratitude, Islam. I'm so happy.
Islamism, and gratitude in another measure too, along with that. Like I was talking about, when we put our letters together and we get the word, like we can, in which we will, once we get our definition for these words we will have, and we see the correspondence between this and the Hebrew and the Kemetic language, because we definitely gonna have a triad expression, so to speak, a triune expression that we'll draw from the Kemetic root, and then how it came to the Arabic, how it came in Hebrew. Why is this necessary? Because most of our people draw from those languages that we're dealing with in the conscious community. But then to take it deeper, after bringing the combination of the three words that all link up and align themselves, we will go into our Moorish Holy Quran and say, now what word better is applicable to the word that we have if we choose building? Okay, temple of perfected man. So we write that in our dictionary. What other words have to do with it? In other words that correspond to that same measure. And that's how we will build our own dictionary out of the circle 7, and also those words connecting back to it. You see?
Islam.
That's going to be a powerful thing, which we're getting ready to get into very soon.
Islam.
You know, and so this is going to be a grand drawing for us, and we'll have our Moorish kin on the manifest, where we will all bring forth 7 words, you know, after we go through the research process. And then those 7 words from each one of us, how many of us are on here, you know, those words will be utilized, and these words will be brought forth by those who know what we have come into now, you know, because they are considered basically the experts in this area. After y'all have come through this special knowledge, y'all know the history of the language, you know, so it will be the Moors who participated all the way up to bring those words forth. Because if you didn't participate, you don't really know, you know, what to bring forth or the process, as these Moors know, you know, but ones can give input, you know, here and there as well. So want to give honors to our family and gratitude. Is there any other Moor that has a measure to bring forth before we open up the floor in regards to dealing with the homework? If not, we'll open up the floor to our Moorish kin, the officials first, and then our Moorish kin. Okay. Going once, going twice, and we thrice blessed. So grand demonstration at this time. What we're gonna do, we're gonna call forth the official, starting with our Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Hatshepsut Wakat Ma'at Anpu Tutankhamun Bey. Islam. You got it, Goddess and Queen.
Islam, gratitude. Having already risen and given praise and honor where due, I want to give a special honor to our class, giving honor to all the Moors online, to our host, Georgia Consulate, our National Assistant Grand Chairman, and to our instructor, our National Assistant Grand Sheik, for taking us through this particular path. Because I tell you, when I first started, no clue, zero, and I asked the Creator, and just coming up through the various languages and being able to, and it took like just that first number 1 assignment, it took literally 24 hours, because first I had to understand and comprehend what it's saying. I wrote down the notes and receive the instruction, but I have to get the clarity in my mind to be able to bring it forth. And I'm thinking, okay, you can just whiz through that, but that was not the case, in matching the letters to a particular script, because you had to scroll through the script and select. But I just want to give honor to us going through the degrees so that we can comprehend the process that Rome used and the proper way as far as what our ancestors brought forth. And just being able to go back in mind, as the prophet stated, it's just a grand blessing and a measure. I'm still studying this. I know that I've got to go back as far as brushing back up on the Arabic, the Coptic, etc. But at least we have been given so many PDFs and dictionaries, and where we can hook up what E. Wallace Budge had and with his little determinatives and things of that nature. But at least we have a good foundation of what our ancestors brought in sifting through and exhuming what is the true essence of what our ancestors brought. So this has just been a grand measure and a grand class. I look forward to even greater works that we have to do, to put out to our people, the blessing from our Creator, our Father God, Allah. Gratitude, more peace and love.
And gratitude, pardon self. I was trying to hit the share screen, but mess around and hit the recording button. But we give honors to you, Grand National Secretary of the State, for everything it is that you have demonstrated, along the way. And we just want to say gratitude to all that you brought on the manifest. And this is what I was trying to share on the screen here. I was actually supposed to have a discussion with a brother. And he ran out of that special discussion, so we didn't have it. And this was actually the stuff that I had, that was breaking down a whole lot of this. Same stuff that we were speaking of, and we'll try to get these things out to the Moorish kin, but it's basically talking about how the hieratic, was on the manifest before all of this other stuff, and the way that the ancient Egyptians, the way they demonstrated. For example, it says the King Khufu papyrus. It says in the Prissy papyrus, which is, they say, the oldest book in the world. It's called the Teachings of Ptahhotep. In this era in time, it says both made in ancient Kemet around 2500 BC. Our brother Mustafa Gadala give like 27, I want to say 50 or 2700 BC, which is like 4,000 years ago. It says in the 23 BC respectively are the oldest existing written works on papyrus today. The first was named after Priscus Adventus. See, this is what they do. We talked about this, how they put their name on different records, and then just like they did with Book of the Dead and all this type of stuff here, and that's why people don't know the papyrus as it was. So it says the French Egyptologists, it says in the contents of the papyrus written in hieratic script are based on the teachings of Ptahhotep. The Grand Vizier, which we know go back to Wazir, Usir, and all that, but that's neither here nor there. It says under the 5th Egyptian dynasty, Pharaoh Essesi. You see, it says the National Library of France now houses the 4,000-year-old papyrus. The King Khufu papyrus, written in the hieratic script, was discovered in 1213 and is displayed at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. So now I want to stop right here. If the papyrus is written in hieratic and they just found it in 2013, now I wonder how the Europeans could justify, trying to put this as special papyrus, in a pictorial form, and say it takes the pictorial form to transliterate this papyrus. See, this is how you uncover the shenanigans here. So it says the Book of the Dead, which is what they call the Bakit-Mut papyrus, right? Which is most likely named after another European, or sometime they'll name it after where they found it at in Kemet. It says another ancient Egyptian papyrus scroll dates from 12 BC. It was written in hieratic script and illustrated with hieroglyphics and a small illustration of vignettes. Now, if you look at this, family, it was written in hieratic script, and when they illustrated it with hieroglyphs. So when you seen, like when I showed y'all a lot of that ancient papyrus, and then they have the symbols up under it, but it was really papyrus. It was written in hieratic, but when they illustrated it in their so-called literary text, they had reproduced it by transcribing the hieratic into glyphs. You see? And so it says, discovered in Egypt in 1799 by a French archaeologist, the Rosetta Stone, dating from 195 BC, was written in 3 scripts: Egyptian hieroglyphics, Egyptian Demotic script, and Greek. And see, and how we expose this, we tell you, well, Egyptian hieroglyphics, you know, we know that the symbols always existed, you know, before the Greeks come on to manifest. But the giveaway is that they have Demotic script in there, what they so-called Greek. And if they Greek came after the Demotic, then we know good and well the ancient Egyptians couldn't have nothing to do with this Rosetta Stone. It came specifically from the Ptolemies. So of course Ptolemy name would be in that stone. But you ain't gonna tell no lie on the ancient Egyptians and say they wrote Ptolemy name in the stone. We ain't gonna do that. So it says, scholars believe that the Ptolemies, the ruling dynasty of Egypt at that time, were all fluent in Greek speakers. They didn't know Kemetic language now. It says, and ordered the creation of the Rosetta Stone. Didn't I tell you they had the people that was of the native? I say you better create this. And in certain horror stories, it tell you that some people were killed after the translation. You know, it says, using ancient Egyptian scribes who were also fluent in Greek, and there wasn't no fluent in no Greek. They was fluent in Hecopta. You see, which came after the hieratic. You know, after, you know, these things have been created, so to speak. So they're letting you know it was Egyptian scribes who actually were under duress, so to speak, is what I would call it. And they were the ones who came forth, you know, with these measures. And what they are calling Greek, we know is really Coptic. And that's why when they say fluent in Greek, we look past that because we know better. When we know better, we do better. It says the Ptolemies may have attempted to decipher the Egyptian hieroglyphics, but it proved challenging, of course, because they didn't know it. You see? And then they go in and try to say in 1823, using the Rosetta Stone, a set of Egyptian hieroglyphics were completely deciphered for the very first time by John Francois Champollion. It says the Rosetta Stone was later to be used by British and French archaeologists as a dictionary to translate other Egyptian hieroglyphics. See? So when they came up with their own methodology of so-called decipherment, they applied this methodology to so-called decipherment of other so-called hieroglyphics. But if there were no hieroglyphics and it was hieratic, then what were you deciphering? Because even Champollion depended upon the works of Herr Apollo, just as E. Wallace Budge quote the works of Herr Apollo, who didn't believe these symbols were alphabet. He gave a metaphysical interpretation that you've seen our Grand National Secretary of the State present on our slides. See, so it says in ancient Egypt, the hieroglyphics took a long time to read and were thus used mostly on buildings and tombs. How you know how long it took them to read if you wasn't there? So this is a case of the European correcting the ancient Egyptians and criticizing them basically by saying they took a long time to read. And, you know, this is just to act like they know what's going on. You see, and for other uses, it say a hieratic script was developed around 2000 BC. That's their side of the story. We know the hieratic was there first. It says for full-length writing on papyrus, this was later replaced in 800 BC by the more simplified Demotic script. So if we know that the Demotic script, according to them, come in 800 BC, then how can you take the Rosetta Stone, which has Demotic on it, and try to take it back to 2500 BC? You can't do that. It says, by the more simplified Demotic script, hieroglyphics were in use in ancient Egypt until about AD 40, by which the time it was already a part of the Roman Empire. And that's when they came up with their Ptolemaic remix. You see? And so, like I said, I won't go into all of this measure. I may end up just putting it out there in a presentation or something, you know, online, but this is to just go through this real quick to show you what they did in KEMET. See, this is what happened on the Ptolemies right here. See that 300 BC, the AD 220? Look at that. See, this is what happens when you let somebody else come into your culture and they take it over. This is supposed to be the torso of Ptolemy, I want to say the 6, 180 to 145 BC from Karnak. So yeah, when we say this ain't stuff we making up. When we say they superimpose themselves in our history and tried to take over at the time frame that we say they did, yeah, this is real measure here, Morris King. You see? And so, man, it's just crazy on how somebody can steal our culture like this and get away with it. You know, so all this right here is extra information that support, you know, the measure that I'm bringing forth. But this is some more things that they had. You know, look at Anpu. They got, you know, a European, basically, a Ptolemaic European before the time of being European. You know, here they go right here. Same thing there. We see it here as well. This is also another measure. You see they have also Neptis look like, and maybe all set there. And look at that. God almighty no. This stuff got to stop, Morris King. And this is the way they began writing their symbols that they had created. Notice they got repetitive measures. This is a temple here. But notice the repetitive measures. That ain't even saying nothing. It's just a repeat of putting bulls up there. That's probably when they first started. And they're here. This is where they put the crocodile up here. You know, they promoting that crocodile thought pattern of Sobek. You see? And so, yeah, this whole thing that I have here debunks, you know, a lot of those strange claims that you've been hearing from people who have been claiming, you know, that hieroglyphs gave birth, you know, to the ancient Kemetic measures. You know, so this is just, it's powerful, Morris King. You know, it's powerful. But we'll get into it in due time, mashallah. You know, so I just wanted to share that with our family and support, you know, what our Grand National Secretary was demonstrating and everything we've been demonstrating thus far. So, and I want to mention this too before we go. Reverse engineering. Reverse engineering is basically to disassemble and examine or analyze in detail a product or service to discover the concepts involved in manufacture, usually in order to produce something similar, right? So they use the method of reverse engineering, which is actually illegal under the US section of law, so to speak. If you were to reverse engineer a thing, you know, somebody can get you for copyright infringement. You know, that's basically what they did. Reverse engineer, created their own means of the alphabet, and then tried to claim the intellectual properties of our ancestors. I just wanted to make that plain too. You know, so we here to expose it, and we done exposed it. So let me stop right there. Islam. We see there's no other, our Grand Sheikh is not here. So let us call forth the brother, Dr. Torre Anu Rasul Simpson Bey, to give his message. Islam. Are you there, brother? All right. Well, let us call forth then our Moorish kin, you know, who are still present Anyone have a measure they would like to bring forth? Questions, comments, or whatever the case may be. Islam, Brother Marvin Edwards Bay.
Oh, gratitude, man. Very powerful class. Yeah, I just wanted to gratitude, all that you're bringing on the manifest, as it unfolds, you know, you want a better picture, you know what I mean? As it continually re-educate me, you know what I mean? Allows my mind to open up, you know what I mean? And accept bring gratitude. Oh, and of course, our Grand National Secretary of the State, you know, always on the forefront of leading on. So I definitely got to go back over this this video. Gratitude.
Islam, gratitude for the measure. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. All right. Is there any other more that would like to come forth and give their portion?
Islam.
Islam, Sister Curtis Bay.
Islam, Dr. Dendra Curtis Bay, honors has already been given. And as always, y'all just don't know, this is wonderful for me. Some of it is so new. It just blows my mind. But and even with but what you're showing, Dr. Shahid, I love it because you're preparing me and helping me to, when I get ready, when I'm confronted with someone about our teachings. I already knew that the Europeans went in and stole all our information and basically just wrote themselves into creation. I already knew that. But what you're doing is you taking me deep, and the great God Allah put me here because now you taking me deep into it. You taking me from the very beginning, from the alphabets, from the pictorial. You showing me exactly how they did everything from the very beginning, how they took our teachings, our language, our alphabets, and then you're showing me how they even, what they got out there now, what we were studying, we thought that was the truth that was coming from us. You're showing me now how that's they have covered up our work. And so this is just such, like I said, this is such a wonderful thing. One quick question I wanted to ask about the God man, Hierapolis. Now he's one of our ancestors, right? Am I correct on thinking that way?
Yeah, he was actually a Egyptian priest.
Okay.
He most likely would have been of, who I would call that we refer to as, the Etruscan or the Kiftihu, era.
Okay.
Those who originally inhabited that place before they started calling it Greek and all that.
Oh, okay. And I thought
definitely he was definitely a priest, an Egyptian priest.
Okay, and I thought that's what I had read, and the material that you had sent out, I still got to go over and read some of that. But I did think that was what you were saying, that he was closer to our teachings than what Garner and them and all of the rest of them had put out there. And so again, like I say, gratitude. I'm definitely want to listen to this playback again because even when you're doing you told us to choose the 7 words from the Hebrew Lexicon and then convert them to to the numbers and then give that give that atomic mass and stuff. I think I was on the right track, but I'm gonna listen to it. But I just literally run out of time to try to look it up because I spent too much time on that number 1, what the goddess Dr. Hatshepsut brought forth so beautifully, and I understand it, but I definitely want to hear it some more so I can make sure I understand that first one you said, oh God, man, that one stumped me, and I spent too much time on that one. I should have started with the ones what I thought was come easier to me, and then went back to the hardest, but I started with the hardest, and that therefore it hindered me from completing my whole assignment. But I think I know what to do now. I saw what she did and what y'all did, and I saw how you come up with that, and that's gonna be. I'm anxious to see how to implement this in our herb health and healing, because that is my department, as you know, and I was all ears when we was going through that, putting it together by how these different elements pertain to our body. And like what you broke down, you made it so good and plain. I definitely got to go back and spend some time and look those up, because like I say, that's my passion, that's my department, and you know that's my passion. When you talk about herb health and healing, you got my attention. So gratitude, God, man, for all that you do, and again, gratitude for being so patient. You just don't know. You have to have patience when you doing stuff like this, and you really demonstrate. I see Allah in you, and how you just take your time with us and make it plain and let us ask our questions. You don't, nobody puts nobody down, but if you ask something, it ain't no, it ain't no dumb question or nothing like that. No, you just let us be ourselves. And that's why even at my age, I got joy. I don't like to say happy. I'm happy because happiness come and go, but this joy that I have, see, can't nobody take that away from me, no matter what, because it's in the inside of me, and no matter what come up, I got this joy, and I'm gonna keep it, this joy and this peace. So gratitude, God, man, for all that you do. Islam, peace and love.
Islamism, the prophet said he brought us something that we can shout about. So gratitude, goddess and queen, for that special measure, and praise be to Allah. And also to note, Mustafa Gadala's works, like the 28 alphabets, he come forth. He used a lot of that coming forth from the stanzas that are mentioned by Horapollo. So even his metaphysical breakdowns are based upon the same methodology and the works of Horapollo as well. Prior to the 19th century, all had that same view. And that's what I actually have in that. I basically have in the in that PDF I was just showing our Moorish king. It's only after the 19th century that people started trying to talk about, oh, this is some hieroglyphics, and it's an alphabet, instead of dealing with it metaphysically. Islam, goddess and queen.
Oh, Islam. And I never did know when we was studying with Mustafa in his book, I know he would give them stanzas and stuff. I didn't know. I didn't know that's what I didn't understand where that was coming from. I read them, but I didn't understand them. So that was coming from this God man, Howard Apollos. That was coming from his information, those standards. It tied in back to him. Okay. I'm learning all the time. Wow. I didn't know that. Islam.
Oh yeah, Islam. And it's strange, it ain't strange that Champollion, certain people would tell you that Champollion is a corruption, the name, of really the champion of Apollo or Horapollos. You see what I'm saying? Because Horapollos is Heru and Apollos together. That's the name they gave it when they translated the work. Because that work was translated out of so-called quote unquote Greek, which is really Hecopter. You see? So that's an actual translated text when you read Horapollo's works.
Oh, okay.
I can actually show you a version of it was in straight alphabets.
Oh.
It ain't in English at all. So yes, it's definitely said to be, he was one of the last high priests to demonstrate on that during that time, is what they have. And that's just what they found recently, because who knows what may be unearthed, in years to come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, about other measures as this truth continues to unfold.
Islam.
And that's a powerful measure.
Islam, gratitude.
Yeah. Gratitude. Islam. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and give their portion? The floor is open. Islam, Brother Bati Bey.
Islam. Islam. The crazy thing is, I've always, you know how when you're younger, the spirit will speak to you, but since you still only gathering your bearings on what and who you are, it don't come into revelation until later, till you get older and you go through these trials and tribulations that build you up for moments, right? And even with the class, with the herb health and healing class, though I'm in law, defense, and justice and herb health and healing class, it shows how all this stuff is interconnected. Even the enzymes, when you brought up the fact that the enzymes and it correlated with the boron, and you see what boron does to the body and the phosphorus adds to the bone. This stuff is, and we just sit over here and we just overlook it because we trust so much in somebody else instead of the capacity of our people and ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And it throws me off. And the other thing I wanted to say was, do people be paying attention to these classes? That's why I said on the other day, I said, why'd they get you started? Do they pay attention to these classes? Because if they did, they wouldn't even try to fight. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that people ain't worthy, but it's the fact that the information, the length of information, you know what I'm saying, one goes to bring forth these measures. It's not no, I'm gonna sit on my phone and scroll up and scroll up and scroll up and find what fits. This is actually cross-referencing, you know what I'm saying, make it, you know, finding things that challenge what I believe, or challenge it so that you know how, when that argument comes to bring it forth. That's why in here, you know, to be a divine minister, I see why it's important to give your measures, you know what I'm saying, and give a measure up there, because you being the divine minister, you have to oratate to crowds. You have to talk to people. And if you ain't talking to people and you don't get a regular practice, this is not going to be, it's going to be harder for you to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I see you get your patience at. And I'm just going to, man, I don't not, some of these people here, yes, Lord. They get on my nerves. The tap dance real hard on my nerves. You got patience. I give you honor for that. And you know, I just like how this class is going, because this is really the core of me right here, is the science, and figuring out breaking down everything and see how it correlates. Islam, peace and love, man.
Islamism, yeah, you see us out there. I can't even post nothing on my page without somebody telling me what to post. I had to tell some of the brothers from the MST of A when I was showing the picture of the expression of Prophet Noble Ali and KEMET, you know, based upon the time frame, you know, that one was there. And I put it out there, and a bunch of brothers from the MST of A that had unfriended me, you know, they came back out of the way. I mean, they had to refriend me, because somebody probably told them, look at him over here now, y'all. And they come up in there, you gonna have to show us some proof for this. We demand proof. And so I told them, I said 1900s in Cairo, Egypt. So they say, well, that's not enough. We need more. It's the same thing they were doing to the chairman when he was in Chicago. You see what I'm saying? We need to know the next move more. And so I tell y'all what, we're going to be fair. I say, if you can give me a signature charter by the prophet, you see, with his signature on it, I say, well, then I'll give you the information. You know what I mean? And I did that because I done already gave you the source. You steady hollering for the source, I done put it there. So since you want to act crazy, I'm finna really show you something. And I know now one of y'all can't produce no charter, you know, for the one that's trying to say the prophet didn't say that, he didn't bring that. So if you can't produce no charter, then who are you to be coming up here talking about what the prophet didn't say? And I don't believe the prophet went to Egypt. It's a wonder why, because the proof of you not having a signature on your charter prove that you didn't come through the lineage of the prophet. So when you hear people that speak about Prophet Noble Ali going into Egypt, if you didn't come through the lineage of the true adepts, it's most likely you didn't get that information. You missed the memo, or the lineage through which you come through, missed the memo. We know Kirkman Bey was never made an adept, so anybody come from that line, they wouldn't be privy to that information, unless they somehow may have come across some of the cooked bays, or they came across Brother R. German Bay. You see what I'm saying? People who were taught directly by the prophet. Remember, he said, I was given a high name over there. And then he said that, you know, it can't be used over here. He said, but if you be good Moors, I will hand it down to you. So evidently, the prophet handed this name, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali, down to his good Moors, and the Moors that wasn't good, he didn't give it to. You see what I'm saying? And we can tell by the fact, again, they don't have a chartered signature with the prophet on it. And they know that, say, well, what that got to do with anything? It had a whole lot to do with it, because if you ask me a question like that, you know, trying to vet what I'm saying, you don't have faith in the prophet. And I'm exposing why you don't have faith in the prophet, because you don't come from his lineage, since you want to challenge something. You know what I mean? And so, man, we just be trying to put it, and that'll make them think. That'll make them, in which one brother did, 7 Islam, who we let speak in Baltimore up there. He went in there and he looked and found it. And so, yeah, here it is more, but my year say 1925. I say, yeah, but mine say 1910. You know, because sometimes people get dates misconstrued as well on certain photos. We done seen that happen. And so, nevertheless, I say, now you know that I wasn't just giving you something. You was able to go back and find it yourself. You see, anything that I say to our Moorish kin, it's going to always go back to a source. I can produce the source. But why we always got to pull out what a source come from? When Rome tell you something, you eat it up. On crackers, bread, and everything else, tearing up a soup sandwich. You see what I'm saying? So when it come down to dealing with that, boys, you know, at this point, we just say, all right, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. You in trouble. I just hope you know how to swim. But don't ask me no question that you ain't ready for the answer. Like the chairman said, because I'm going to give it to you. Now, what you do with it after I give it to you, then that's on you. Islam. We love you, brother Bati Bey, and we love the fact that you stand in defense as well of your Moorish American government when you see these ones out here acting crazy. Because like I say, I had one to tell me, I want you to have a discussion with me, hollering and hooping all out there, and then next thing you know, yesterday he didn't even show up. Oh, I had to work. So, you know, ain't nobody got time to play with these people, man. You know, like the brother Sarnetta said, why y'all running from this brother? Why y'all so scared to have this discussion with this brother? You know, but praise be to Allah. I mean, all it is information, you know? So Islam, we give honors to you, brother. All right. Is there any other more that would like to come forth and give their portion?
Islam, Angel, I'll be brief. Divine Minister Dr. Abdul Hakim Sincere Bay. Praise Allah, honor to the Prophet Noble Ali, El-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. More, I just needed a copy of, if you could just email me a copy of the homework so I can get to it. Because I'm fired up. I definitely want to, you know, I definitely look forward to doing the homework. So if you could just send it over to me. I don't know if you can send it over to me right now through the Zoom, but my email, either way.
It's well, it's already been sent out, but I can forward it to you, you know, and it should already be.
Who sent it out?
I sent it out. I sent it out through the master email.
Is it the ear?
Yeah, it's the ear.
Is it the ears salting it?
Yeah, that's it. So you should already have it in your information already. So if you look in there, you should see it, because I sent it out to all the Moors and I sent videos and everything with it. You know,
grand demonstration, Angel. That's all I gotta say. You know, praise Allah, honor to the Prophet for this knowledge. You know what I mean? Uncle Jessanel, more.
Yeah, Islam, Uncle Jessanel, brother. Peace. Islam. All right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth as we get ready to go in the third heaven? Because that's where we're going now. We already there, but we're going into a high state of elevation. Like the prophet say, up above the sun, moon, and stars, around the almighty throne of Allah. Islam, ain't that the degree of what we call Sarah from the spirit of the mighty Allah, according to chapter 1? See, I didn't make that up, Moors. That's the prophet teaching, not Shahid's. Islam. Well, all right, now that all of our Moorish kin have given their drawings, you know, and grand drawings they are, we can call on our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Curta Bay, to close us out.
Islam, 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 family. Wonderful class. January 15, 1929, a warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of Prophet Noble Jew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is officially adjourned according to Act 2. Go in peace, Moors. Islam. Wonderful class, family.
Peace and love to all the Moors online.
Islam.
With their movie, their
Islam.
Great
Islam.
class.
Grand
Love
class.
class.
Grand
Glory
class.
and gratitude.
Love you, Moors.
Praise the
Great
Lord.
class.
Peace and love.
Grand class, Moors.
Grand
Love.
class.
Praise the Lord. Islam.
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 Hey, that gives a all new meaning. It's in you, it ain't on you. You know, the Allah
That's
right
right.
there.
That's right. Yeah, you can't put it on if it ain't in you.
That's right.
Love.
Praise the
Islam.
Lord.
Islam. Peace and love, family.
Peace
Peace
and
and
love.
love.